Hey, I'll put up back in the refrigerator. The summer session. You know, ICTC 2020 training.
Did you turn on your iMessage or did you have to do that?
Turn on.
Miss Miller, welcome, welcome.
What?
Appreciate you being early. So that's the captions.
Progress.
Hey, no, no.
going on already? You're welcome, everybody. We're getting started here in a little bit. I'm actually trying to figure out this go live thing. Appreciate y'all coming in early. What's going on, Mr. Niche? Right on. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Appreciate you being here early too, because if you're on time, you're late. Doggone it.
Thank you so much for having me. Hey, Cambria.
Right on. Appreciate it, everybody. Y'all come on in, have a seat, and get comfortable. We actually got a special guest tonight.
Hello. Can you hear me, Cecil?
We can, yes, sir.
All right. How y'all doing, man? I was trying to speak to y'all. My mic wasn't acting right.
Yeah, we doing all right, brother.
How are you?
Appreciate y'all. So if we got any questions, anything before we get started, that maybe you guys had something that you were curious about, because tonight we're gonna go over some licensing strategy. Right? So folks was talking about, they wanted to see something more, some practical tips, right? So what we'll do is actually give you guys, we just gonna go through the whole class, right? So normally what we're offering for other folks, we're just gonna go through it for free today.
Gratitude. Thank you so much for that.
Already. And then I know Drew gonna drop some jewels. He always do.
I like the ambiance that you setting with the jazz.
Man, already, man. Miss Linda got me on this jazz, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm over just grooving to it.
As long as y'all don't fall asleep, we all right. Still got a good 30 minutes before we get started. If y'all want to, get your little wine and, get your little comfortabilities on. But, hey, did y'all get a text message?
For this particular Zoom?
Yes.
No, I found it in the Black and Brown group.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I had came in a few minutes before, but it was asking for a passcode. So I was glad the passcode was posted.
Yeah, well, right on. Respite, okay. I sent out a tell thing. Hey, the phone company messing with our text messages, man. Say 100 went out. Well, I guess we'll see. Yeah, I say it's going on. Okay.
Cecil, can I post a link in another group that I'm in?
Oh, go for it.
Okay.
Share, share, share.
Insurance, but first I want to thank you, Tyler Hopkins and Insurance.
Beautiful people, my pros. What's happening? They think you spam or something, so we're getting about 10. So we want to keep it as professional team. Name is Joseph. Beautiful people, my I've grown. I think we can. All right, so think we got it. So I think we should go. I think we live on Facebook. Les, can you go to the group and see if we live and you can hear everything? So we'll get started here in about 10 minutes or so. To the Black and Brown group. Welcome everybody, welcome. I'm having a whole conversation up here by myself. I've been muted the whole time. So I appreciate y'all coming. Thank you all for being here. Ray, if you could keep an eye out on the chat once we get started there, brother, and just let us know if we got any questions or anything coming in. Questions, thoughts, ideas, concerns, if you would, please. It was Drew confirming he'll be logging in shortly. And so with started here in a second. Hey, more welcome. All right, so I'm just let that one roll. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Appreciate you all for being here. We'll get started here in about another 5-6 minutes. But if anybody has any thoughts, ideas, questions, or suggestions, got about 5 minutes before we get started if y'all want to chime in. All right, take more or not, either or. So Ray is gonna keep an eye on the chat and Zoom. So if we can get one of you ladies to keep an eye out on the chat in Facebook, so we're actually live there as well. At least I think I did it right. So, hey, welcome, Drew. Welcome. Appreciate you being here, there, brother. Miss Jennifer, thank you for watching online. We appreciate you. Of course, Mr. Sheena, always support and appreciate you too, sis. So I said, Drew always coming in, dropping jewels, so I'm not expecting anything different tonight. So I'm glad you all could be here. So as people will start, trickling in, I'm sure, posted it to a few places. So, no, actually, while I'm thinking about it. Welcome, everybody. Just let's go ahead and get started. So, okay, let me catch over. Appreciate you all. Appreciate your time, your patience. So we will go ahead and get started here. Just trying to get the last piece set up real quick. All righty, does that look better? All right, that's enough smooth jazz for this evening. Actually, I kind of like that smooth jazz, though. That was pretty cool. Actually, damn, how's that? What we looking like? Can y'all see me? Can y'all see the screen?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, make sure we still live on the book. Looks like we still good to go in the classroom. All righty, let's go ahead and get started. So I definitely appreciate everybody for being here. So welcome everybody to the ICTC, the Insurance Career Training Center Sunday sessions. So we actually started these Sunday sessions, I don't know, I'd say maybe a year, 2 years ago, when we first started, investing into our community and teaching our community about insurance adjusting. So I found out about it on the humbug. So nobody in my family was insurance adjusters at the time. But now everybody is, my sister, my cousin, my brother, my nephew, my son, everybody adjusted. So I definitely think it's a very, very good opportunity for folks that are, wanting to, start a career, start a business, right? Because you can go either way. You can go staff side, you can go, independent side where, you are a business, right? So tonight we got a special guest, Mr. Andrew Price, Drew too, So definitely appreciate him being here. So for those of you who don't know, Drew is actually the director over at Sedwick, which is, if you know anything about adjusting, you know about Sedwick, right? So definitely appreciate him being here. So we'll go ahead and get started, y'all. Again, welcome. So this is the Insurance Career Training Center Sunday session sponsored by ALA of Texas. Laura, you had something? I'm sorry. No? Okay, I'll keep going. All right, so which is sponsored by ALA of Texas. So All Lines Adjusters of Texas is a small independent firm here in the state of Texas. We are looking to expand our contracting and opportunities for those in our community. And so we have made some strides, man. So we actually did sign on our first insurance carrier. So you should have received a text message. If you're a part of our list, you would have received a text message about the opportunities that we have available for the upcoming storm season. So super excited about that. But also, you definitely want to be involved with the big boys, and Sedwick is definitely one of the big boys. So definitely get on their roster if you are not. So super excited about where we are headed. Super excited about the partnerships that we're creating. And if you did not receive that text message, as we're seeing in the chat here, just make sure, if you're not on the list, make sure you get on the list. So alaoftexas.com, and we'll make sure we'll send that out. Or if you want to drop your email address in the chat, one of our admins will make sure that you get that information out to you. All right. So cool beans. So what is ICTC? What are we doing here? Why are we even here? Right. So we want to educate our youth and community. Right. Like I was saying, nobody in my family is an adjuster. Well, nobody was an adjuster. Everybody is now, but I didn't know anybody that was an adjuster. I didn't know adjusting was a thing, right? So, I've actually, back in the day, I was in a car wreck and I think it was Progressive. The guy came out, took pictures, all that, but I didn't know he was an adjuster, right? So now looking back, it's amazing how many interactions we've had with them and didn't even know, right? So that was super awesome. But we want to educate our youth and community about the business and career opportunities available in the insurance industry. So not just adjusting, we actually have plans to, offer different pathway programs, is what we're calling it. for the folks, right? So you may not want to do property. You may want to do workers' comp. You want to do bodily injury. You want to do life insurance. You want to do, whatever it is that you want to do in the insurance industry. We want to provide a pathway for you to get there, and then provide the resources and knowledge that you need to be successful, right? So just what if, by seeing the value that we place on things, right? So your car was destroyed, this is how much it costs, right? Your house was destroyed, this is how much it costs, right? What if we see the value that we place on things and really start to see the value that we have in ourselves, right? Because you will be surprised. Well, actually, you probably won't be surprised. So when people are in disastrous situations, yeah, they may have lost their house, but they're more happy that they didn't lose their life, right? So start to see the value that we have in ourselves, the value that we have in our community, and start to recognize that as a whole, right? And again, getting a license, getting in the industry is one thing, right? But how do you be successful? What's the knowledge that you need, in order to, really come in and bring value to the Sedwicks, right? How do you come in and, immediately start helping the team that Andrew's, overseeing, right? How do you come in? So we want to provide those tools, those trainings, those resources needed for you to actually succeed in the industry, right? So Sunday sessions is actually a part of our way of doing that, right? So if you've seen our previous Sunday sessions, we've had some heavy hitters. We've had some really, really good training, some really, really good resources and folks that have decided to pour into us, such as Mr. Drew. And it's just been an amazing, amazing thing to be a part of, right? But you need access to that. So now, what have we been doing? Per usual. So we're building that training resource. We're building that network, right? So if you're part of our Facebook group, if you're part of our text messaging, our email, and if you're part of the My Adjuster Pro, if you have a student account, right? So for those of you that don't know about My Adjuster Pro, we actually just released Adjuster GPT. So if you have a student account, you can log into My Adjuster Pro right now, click on My Adjuster GPT, and we've literally trained this AI chatbot on the different blogs and licensing and state regulations. So you can go in and ask it questions, and it's going to answer based on its training data. And if it doesn't answer or doesn't know the answer to the question, the best part is that it will connect you to somebody who can. Can y'all hear me? Everything cool? All right, mic check.
Yeah, you good. You good.
Okay, cool. Y'all can still see the screen and everything, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
just
All
something
right,
ringing.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, right on. Thought I was talking to myself for a minute there. So, but yeah, so we want to build those networking training resources, for our community, right? And also, we want to continue to partner with aware organizations to provide those career and business opportunities like Sedwick, like ALA, right? So again, getting the license is one thing. Ooh, you know what to do with it. All right. You know how to use it. Do you know how to complete the job that you are set out to be, that you were hired for, right? And then once you have that training, partnering with organizations such as Sedwick, right? To create those business and career opportunities. So again, you can go staff, where you work for an insurance company, or you're full-time at a Sedwick or at ALA, or you go independent, where you are your own business. You are a business owner as an independent adjuster, right? So we definitely want to make sure that you guys understand that. And of course, if we can do that, we'll continue and we will grow and empower community, people of color. So, and when you're building a community and everybody's making good money and everybody can afford to live and pay their rent, it just drastically changed the community as a whole. Crime is down. Ain't nobody robbing you if everybody making good money, right? So growing that empowered community, I think, is very important for us. Some milestones. Actually, these numbers are actually a little off, but so far about 3.5 million claims volume. We released the deployment hub this year, well, actually last year. Whatever. Just some accolades. Some reviews, of course, from folks that have been through our previous courses, previous cohorts, previous Sunday sessions. So if you missed last week, so we always start with mindset. A big part of being successful in this industry is, where is your mindset? Where are you mentally in order to be successful in this industry, right? Because if your mind ain't right, it just ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? Because we are under a lot of stressful situations. You got to remember, we're going into hurricanes and tornadoes and disaster situations. So and we're there to help the folks and indemnify the folks that are affected by these storms. So if we ain't right, then how we gonna help somebody else, right? So
insurance, but first, I want to thank you for inviting me. First and foremost, I am so honored about this, is because when I started my career in 1981, none of this was around. Being an African American woman, I'm going to be honest with all of you, is that it was a rough road for me. I had to do things more than the normal acclaimed professional had to, but I am successful today. One of the things that I learned, and I want to say this to all of you, is that I admire you guys getting together and creating this platform, because it's just so needed. We right now, I'm being serious, we are struggling for talented adjusters in all lines of insurance.
Yeah, so that was Miss Roberta. So Jackie, I love Miss Roberta too, man. Miss Roberta, the truth. So if you guys are interested in workers' comp as a independent adjuster, as a staff adjuster, that's a pathway that you can get into. Miss Roberta actually has a Facebook group for workers' comp, said that she does these trainings as well. She also has, I forget what day she has it on, but join her group. You know what I mean? Reach out to her. You know what I mean? She's super awesome, very helpful. And actually, Miss Roberta was one of our first guests, actually, when we first started. So, and she spun off and started doing her own thing with workers' comp, right? We got Miss Denise. I'm going to see if I can get her on, but he started doing auto, on the auto side, right? Auto appraisals, right? So like there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of pathway opportunities for you guys. If you put in the work, if you, actually start put in the work. I mean, that's all I can say. So the name of her group is Workers Comp Adjusters Group, I believe. So actually, if one of you guys, Nat or Tamar, if you can drop that in the chat, if you would, please, the Workers Comp Group. Also, yeah, I love Miss Roberta. So there are tons of opportunities, not just property, not just auto. There are tons of opportunities as an adjuster, an all lines adjuster. Of course, this is our team. Y'all know me. I mean, we got Nat, Tamar, Ken Braille. Absolutely love the team that we have. Ex-police officers, master's degree, community organizers. Like, we got some heavy hitters on the team. Love them to death. Wouldn't trade them for the world. But actually, I take that back. I'm gonna trade them for. No, I ain't gonna need. I wouldn't trade. So, but that's pretty much an introduction to, who we are, why we're here, and what we're doing. Again, sponsored by ALA of Texas. And now, without further ado, the Insurance Career Training Center proudly presents. I don't know, like Andrew been in the game for a minute. I mean, he has done multiple roles within the industry, worked his way up, kicked butt, took names, and now he's actually the director of operations team over at Sedwick. And again, if you guys don't know who Sedwick is, actually, if one of our admins can drop the link to Sedwick in the chat for us, please. And also, if we can drop it in the Facebook group as well. You definitely want to make sure that you are on Sedwick's rosters. They do have opportunity. Well, Drew tell y'all about that. You know what I mean? So, Drew, you on, brother?
I'm there. Can you hear me?
I can, yes, sir. I appreciate you for being here as usual. Thank you very much, Dale.
Yeah, anytime. I certainly appreciate the opportunity to speak to adjusters. And I think anybody that knows me in this industry knows that I mean that, whether you decide that Sedgwick is the fit for you or not. As Cecil mentioned, in fact, this coming week, I start my 20th year in this
Oh,
industry.
nice.
Yeah. So it's
Nice.
being around for a minute. I think you're right. And I've done a few things along the way, and I feel like if I can maybe impart some wisdom along the way that sort of helped me out and created problems for me, and just helps the next generation of adjusters to hopefully be better off than I was right when I started. I kind of want to do that. So I have a soft heart for new adjusters. I think it's after 20 years, I've not forgotten what it was like to feel like when I was new. This is it's an industry where 20 years ago, there were a handful of firms that provided the work that we do, and now there's 100 of them, probably more than that. And so the thing I can appreciate about that is there's no cookie cutter adjuster firm any more than there's a cookie cutter adjuster, right? Everybody has to find their own fit. And I think what Cecil is doing for the community and trying to provide answers to people, which is what we all, I think, are searching for in the beginning of our careers, is really, really important. If you guys don't mind, I wanted to indulge just in a little bit of a personal story, because I think it will kind of set the stage for exactly what Cecil and Tamar and the team are really trying to put together as far as, helping you guys be prepared.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and real quick, just before we'll get the business part out of the way, and then we'll get personal. Okay, so the business part is, if you think that Sedgwick's a fit, I popped a link in there to our website. You can just click on Cat Resource Center. And if you want me personally, there's my personal email for Sedgwick. You're welcome to reach out to me. But this is really not a sales presentation. Tonight is more about making sure that adjusters like yourselves that are hopefully embarking on the beginning of your careers are successful, right? And figuring out what you need, as Cecil said earlier, in order to do that. What is exactly that you need in order to be prepared? Because and I tell this, some of these pieces you'll hear when you're ever on a webinar with me for orientations, but I talk about the fact that in this entire industry that I've been in now for almost 20 years, I've really only met one or two people, I think, that have ever graduated from high school or college and wanted to be an adjuster. The rest of us all seem to end up here from some other, career choice, myself included. I think the thing I kind of wanted to get into is, so I'm going to tell you my journey, and then I want to tell you why it's important, and then I want to tell you why that ties in directly to what Cecil said. So when I started in this industry, before I started in 2004, I was working in the medical field. I was going to school to be a physical therapist. That's what I thought I wanted to do. I was getting my prereqs for PT school, and I was working on in a kind of a middle management role at a hospital. And about that time, the Balanced Budget Act came through, and healthcare reimbursement got cut pretty significantly. And so positions like mine were really becoming eliminated all over the place. Well, at the same time, in 2004, in June of 2004, my first son was born. In July, 4 weeks later, my dad died. And then 4 weeks after that is when I lost my job in the medical field. So these pretty emotional things hit me all at one time, what I considered all at one time, right? June, July to August. And because I was young and dumb in my 20s, and I didn't have any kind of preparation or planning, and I didn't really have a good backup plan, my choices were either to go back and finish school, get my prereqs, which at that time, after being in kind of a management role, I didn't really seem interesting to me, or I had to find another career. And a couple of buddies of mine said, "Hey, you should come with us. We're going to this training class for 3 days to become adjusters." And I said, "That's awesome. What's an adjuster?" I didn't have a clue what adjusters even did. And they explained to me, and today we've already talked a little bit about, and Cecil alluded to, there's more than just a couple of options. I'm just going to talk about the one that really applies to me. But there's workers' comp, and there's auto, and there's inland marine, and there's property, and there's crop insurance. There's tons of things you can get into that fit you specifically. But for me, they told me that we were going to go to these training classes, and we were going to learn to look at damaged homes, and we were going to write estimates. And to be honest, the beginning of that did not sound very appealing to me, because I came from an industry where every 2 weeks I knew what I was going to get paid, and I had healthcare insurance, I had paid time off. And from everything that I found out initially about this industry, I was only going to get paid if I worked. And that sounded a whole lot like commission. I wasn't really keen on working in an industry that had commission, but like everyone else, I think that gets sucked into this at some point, people started telling us how much they made. And so I thought, wow, that's a lot of money that an adjuster can make. Maybe that is worth my time to at least go down for 3 days of training, and then maybe, I'll come home. The problem is, People tell you how much money they made. Nobody ever tells you how much money they spent. And this industry can be expensive if you compare the licenses and the certifications and the trainings that we ultimately want to get, but it's really going to be important. And here's what I mean. So I decided I would go. I got in my truck. Thankfully, I had a truck. That way I could throw a ladder in it, which I didn't have. And I had to stop at Home Depot on the way to Atlanta, Georgia, because that's where the training was. And for me, from Fort Worth, Texas, and driving across the country, I was already going to be in the hole, right? I was going to spend money to travel there, eat there, stay there. But I stopped and got a ladder. I had a computer, thankfully. My brother loaned me his camera. I bought a little rinky-dink printer, and I think that's probably what I rolled into there with. I went to a classroom. I called it a classroom, but it was really a ballroom in a hotel room where about me and, I don't know, 300 other adjusters were there, all going to get this training. I listened to a guy at the front of the room talk for hours on end about things I had probably 80, 90% of things I didn't know he was talking about. I didn't know the difference between a dimensional and a 3-tab shingle. You know, I didn't know what boxed gutters were. I didn't come from the construction world. So I wrote everything down. Everybody probably seen those yellow notepads. I wrote everything on a yellow notepad, front, back, sideways, everywhere I could. I was pretty frustrated, to be honest, very personal to me. I'm missing my son, who was just born in June. So 8 weeks later, I'm already out of town. I'm really missing my dad, who was, close to me in my life. And then I'm changing careers. So to say that I wanted to quit a significant number of times is probably an understatement, but I'm also not a quitter. So I wanted to stick it out. So I stuck it out for that first day. It's pretty frustrating, pretty overwhelmed, a lot of feeling like I didn't know what I didn't know. But I came back for day 2. And at the end of day 2, they tell us that they're going to send us to Orlando for the rest of our training. And I promise, for about a hot minute, I thought that Orlando was like another part of town, or another part of town, or like another hotel. But no, they really meant Orlando, Florida, which meant I was going to have to drive now to another state, right? And I was going to have to get more hotels and spend more money on food and lodging and that sort of thing. But again, I didn't really have a backup plan. I was getting a little bit of this. Sorry, somebody's cutting in there. Can you hear me okay? There we go. All right. So ultimately, I wanted to make sure that I was going to be, trained appropriately. But what they told us is we were going to go down there to the Orlando, and we were going to be taught the estimating system. Now I know that Cecil and his team are going to talk. There you go. I unmuted myself back. So can you hear me okay, real quick, Cecil?
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Thanks. Yeah. So I went down to Orlando, Florida, where we were going to learn the estimating system. Unfortunately, the estimating system for us was called IntegraClaim at that time. You guys will hear a lot about Xactimate and Symbility, because unfortunately the IntegraClaim has kind of gone by the wayside. But the unfortunate thing is when you roll to a situation like I did, where Hurricane Charlie has just hit, and there's potentially other hurricanes coming, and you're in an area where the hurricane has just come through, there's no power, which meant all those computers we were supposed to learn the estimating systems on didn't work. So what they gave us was an insurance manual full of screenshot after screenshot of how we were going to utilize the estimating system called IntegraClaim. So once again, I was pretty frustrated, right? I was mad. I'm spending a lot of money. I'm missing my son. I'm missing my dad. I'm thinking every day that I probably made the wrong choice. I'm getting trained by a manual. I'm very irritated, but I'm also still trying not to quit. And so I stick it out for day 3. Well, I never forget, at the end of day 3, we all went home. I was trying to decide, is this still for me? We come back and they tell us they want us to come back for a 4th day of training because Hurricane Charlie is already blown through. And now these other hurricanes are coming in right behind it. And I'll never forget, we all went to lunch on our 4th day, really our 3.5 day of training. 3.5 day of training. And then we went to lunch. We come back and they tell us we're all getting claims because they're about to just blow us up. Right? There's so many claims coming in. They don't have enough adjusters. And they were not kidding. On the first day, the very first day I got training, I got claims. I got 50 of them right off the bat. The only thing I could really remember from training was that I was supposed to make all my initial contacts and I was supposed to schedule appointments. And thankfully, somebody gave me some great advice in the very beginning about don't overscope. And for those of us that are new, scoping just means, going out and looking at the loss and writing down your notes so that you can write the estimate. And they said, book days in between so you can catch up. That was the best piece of advice I ever got right off the bat. The problem is when you have 50 people, that means they're all booked out kind of far. And all of my claims were in Crystal River, Florida, which from Orlando is like 2 hours away, which again, if you want to be transparent, I was pretty pissed, right? I was irritated that there was no place to stay in Crystal River, which meant I was going to have to drive 2 hours to go see my claims and then drive 2 hours back every day. And I didn't understand how this industry worked. So I thought, well, the worst case scenario is I'm going to make an appointment. I'm going to go write an estimate. I was on what's called fee schedule. So, it's kind of consistent with the amount of claims that we write. The higher the estimates go, the higher the amounts we get paid go. So I thought I'm going to write an estimate and then I'm going to get out of here. And I'm going to hopefully make enough to pay me back on what I spent so far. So I did. I drove to the first loss. It was a doctor's wife. She had nothing to do but wear me out over that claim. And I guarantee you she did. The only thing I could remember from training, because I was so new and inexperienced, is take pictures of everything and measure everything. And I was so dumb in the beginning, I guarantee you that I measured doorknobs because I didn't know any better. I gathered everything I thought I needed. I drove all the way back to Orlando, Florida, where they had a help room. And for those, again, that are new, help rooms, war rooms, they all mean the same thing. It's just a place where adjusters gather and they help each other write their estimates. Many times they have, trainers floating around, but you'll find that in a situation like that, the trainers are immediately overwhelmed with the number of new folks. But I did the best I could. I sat down, I got all my stuff out, and it didn't take about 5 minutes to figure out I didn't have near enough information to write my estimate. And common sense is going to tell you you're about to have to go back. Nobody in the world wants to go back. I didn't want to go back. The homeowner sure didn't want to see me come back. And I had 49 other people wanting to know when I'm coming to their house. But again, I thought if I can just close this first claim, I can go home because that's where I wanted to be. So I go all the way back to Crystal River. I drive all the way back after I gather all of the things that they say I need. I took a whole bunch more pictures, got a whole lot more measurements, drove all the way back to the help room, sat down, got all my stuff set up, pulled my camera out, and all the pictures that I'd just taken were gone. And that was it. That's where I quit. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. I decided this wasn't for me. I began throwing everything in my backpack. I was probably mouthing off to myself louder than I needed to be. I was mad, throwing everything in there, and I was trying to figure out how quickly I could get back to Fort Worth, Texas, because this just wasn't for me. And this guy down from me, he goes, "Hey, I heard you talking about your camera. I used to have one of those. If you let me take a look at it, I might be able to fix it for you." And the camera that I had was an old Sony Mavic camera. It took a floppy disk, so I'm dating myself at this point. And unfortunately, I was just so mad. I said, "No, that's okay. I know how to fix it. I'm going to just go upstairs and eat my dinner and write my estimate." But I was lying to his face. I wasn't going to do any of that. I was going upstairs to pack my stuff, and I was leaving right then to go back to Texas because I was done. And for whatever reason, he came back around again. He goes, "Really, I think I might be able to fix that camera if you let me take a look at it." I still don't know why to this day. Really, I do. But, I hand him that camera, and sure enough, in about, 3 little clicks, he was able to save the good pictures off the bad disc. It was this one positive thing that seemed to go right in what seemed like so many weeks and months of things going wrong. And I told him I appreciated it. He said, "Hey, my name's Paul Knox. Here's my phone number. I'm going to be over on the west coast of Florida working, but I've done this before, and if I can help you out, I certainly want to." And I said, "Well, I really appreciate that, Paul." And I stuck his number in my pocket, and I sat my stubborn butt down, and I worked for the next hours, and I mean hours, with the help of some kind folks around me and the trainers when they could help, to write that first estimate. When I was done with it, I was certainly more than happy with the money I was going to make on it, because it was genuinely more than I was going to make, than I needed to make anyway, to pay all my bills back. But it really wasn't enough to keep me from quitting. And I thought, I'm just going to go upstairs. I'm going to a few hours of sleep, and then I'm going to go home. And really, that's when everything changed for me. The next morning when I got up, I got a call right off the bat from a place that I had tried right there in Crystal River that I was actually going to be available. It was a furnished apartment. It wasn't really damaged. They just didn't have any power. They thought they'd have it up in the next couple of days, but it was mine if I wanted it. I got a call from a guy who told me he was going to be my admin manager, and he was going to be there to answer any questions for me about policies and processes. I got a call from another guy who told me he was going to be my field support. Field support is somebody that does a ride along with you here and there. They can't walk you through every claim, and they can't go with you every single time till you know it all, but they're there, again, to answer some technical questions and to be available for you when you don't know something that you're looking at, which for me was pretty much everything. And then they told me they were going to set up a help room in my area. And for me, that was Ocala, Florida. Ocala was about 40 minutes from Crystal River. Thankfully for you guys today, a lot of the help rooms are more virtual, which is great because it just means they have the advances in technology to log into your computer from anywhere. So you don't have to physically go to a location as much as you used to. Not that I'm still kind of a proponent of going to those, because I think you get a lot out of it from being in person with people. But if that's your learning style, then I think virtual works really well. But it wasn't until I pulled into that help room the first day that I knew everything was going to be fine, because the guy they had running the help room was Paul Knox. Same guy that, fixed my camera and talked me off the ledge of quitting more times than I can count. Every day that I worked claims, I went straight to that help room. And I was there with Paul and a group of folks, Tony, who's a friend of mine today because of that. Time when we met, when you're brand new, you kind of click with your inaugural group of people that you meet. You just sort of in that same, kind of same mentality, same learning style, same everything that you get thrown into. And I was very appreciative to them. And so I went every day, and little by little, I got it. Now, I can tell you right off the bat, though, if if there had only been one Hurricane Charlie, I'd have been out in 2 weeks. You know, they would have cut me. I was terrible. I didn't know what I didn't know. But thankfully, because of the hurricane season of '04, 4 hurricanes hit that year: Charlie, Francis, Ivan, and Gene, and they all hit Florida. So quite honestly, they couldn't afford to cut me. I was pretty much a warm body. I know I was. A lot of us refer to that as fogging a mirror. I could fog a mirror in the beginning, probably not much more than that. Thankfully, because I was 4 hurricanes hit, I was deployed 10 months my first time out. At the end of that 10 months, they released me, which means, you know, your time is over. You go back home. You don't get paid until it rolls in again. I went home. I sat home for 2 months, and then Hurricane Katrina hit. I was gone for a year. So one of the things that I want to point out is, by the time that I got through all that, I started figuring it out, right? But you don't always get that. And I will be upfront. I'm very transparent. Everybody knows. I'll tell you the real raw honesty of this industry, and not just the fluffy, lovey stuff of what you need to know to come to work for a particular company. Because what you have to understand is, in today's world, and if we relate this back to Hurricane Ian, which is the most recent hurricane, the majority of that was shut down within 90 days. And that was Category 5 by the time it hit, you know, right before it hit land, it was Category 5. And by the time it hit and we got everybody out there, and I say we as an industry, not just Sedgwick, we as an industry are going to throw everybody at it, because that's what clients are convinced it takes to close down a storm, right? You get everybody out there. So as an adjuster, I want to stay on a storm as long as possible, because I'm only getting paid when I work, and I want to make a lot of money when I'm out there. But the problem is they throw everybody at a storm. And so what you hope is, if it does close down quickly, that you then turn around and get another storm right after that, right? Or the next one, or the next one, or the next thing. But all of that comes in today with preparation. And that's what we're talking about. I want to be upfront with everyone to make you understand that if I can do this job, anyone can do this job, because I'm no more special than anyone else. I told you I came from an unrelatable background with no real training. I was thrown into it, and I was able to make it. But what I want you to understand about that statement is that even though myself and people just like me have been able to do that, many, many more people fail than are successful doing that. And you have to deal with things that I will not have to. And what I mean by that is, you have to deal with cycle times and social media. And for that, cycle times, for those that are new, is when they give you the claim to when you turn the claim back in, and how quickly you handle it. It's like being on a stopwatch. And clients are convinced that cycle times are what drive the best customer service. Now, it's a debatable topic. I think that's certainly one of the many reasons, but cycle times is a huge part of it. So therefore, they don't let you stay on a storm for months on end. It's get in there, get it closed, get it taken care of, so they can begin making the repairs, which is ultimately what homeowners want. The second part of it that I didn't have to deal with, that you're going to, is social media. I didn't have to deal with that, and you're going to have to. Because what does every person do, regardless of the industry, when they're unhappy about something? Well, they vent, right? They vent to social media. And then what do? They blow up the company, and they blow up your name as well. And so it's really important, and this is what's going to go in. I know Cecil's going to talk to you guys some more tonight, I'm sure, about some of the things that you can get from ICTC as far as, you know, making sure that you're prepared. But that is the key part of this. The biggest part of this is being prepared. If you're not prepared, if you haven't learned the estimating systems, if you haven't been prepared in construction or auto repair, or as we saw earlier, the workers' comp opportunities, right, that are out there. If you're not prepared, you can tank very quickly. And what you'll find out now is a lot of these firms are linked together with people that know each other. A lot of the clients are linked together with certifications. The biggest one being Big Red. Right, everybody knows about State Farm. State Farm has a great certification, because if you have it at one company, then it's good anywhere else. The problem is, if you're listed as what's called NFA, which is no further assignments at one company, you're NFA at all of them for State Farm. So preparation is really the key. I don't normally share that personal story with a lot of folks, because I don't think they need it. I feel like it's really sent there for the newest adjusters. I think I told you guys at the beginning of this, I've never forgotten what it was like. Every time I retell that story, it comes back, because I remember, I feel it every single time. It was frustrating. I wanted to quit. I was mad. There were so many things that I wish people had told me. And so what I've done throughout my career is continue to try to pay it forward this way, which is to, speak to groups like this. And like I said, whether you decide that Sedwick is the best fit for you or not, I don't care. It's okay. If you want to come over, that's awesome. If you don't think that we're the best fit, but something that I gave you that was a nugget today helps you be prepared later on for where you do go, whether it's ALA or any of the others that we've talked about. There's a million of them out there now. You just have to find what fits you the best, and you have to figure out how you can be as prepared as possible to knock this out of the park when you get that opportunity. Because in reality, there's only two opportunities, right? There's staff or there's independent. So many of us go independent because that's where we hear all the money is. The problem with it is it's inconsistent, and we only get paid when we work. And when we do get paid, it's a lot, but you may not work all year. So then a lot of people look at, well, maybe I want to go back to staff because at least I know I'm going to get paid every 2 weeks. I know what my paycheck's going to be. I know what my benefits are going to be. At Sedwick, we have both staff and independent opportunities. But again, it doesn't necessarily fit everyone. Most of the folks that are getting into this now, they're trying to get their opportunities, their foot in the door. And I think that's where you're going to run into some issues right off the bat as a brand new adjuster, is because you're going to find that everybody says they want experience, right? And here you are stuck in that vicious circle of saying, well, how am I brand new and I can't get my foot in the door? Am I ever going to get that experience? And I'll be the first one to tell you that building relationships is a great way to go. I'm not about who you know. I don't like that. But it's about building relationships. It's about going to things like NACA. I don't know how many guys are going to NACA. NACA stands for the National Association of Catastrophe Adjusters, and I'll drop that in the chat for each of you guys. NACA is a conference, and it's really one of the only national conferences for our industry. And I don't get anything from it. I'm not a NACA board member. I'll certainly be there as a part of Sedwick. But as a new adjuster, it's a great place for you to network. You can take classes. They have a number of them that offer CEs. I'm teaching a new class this year. And then there's like 50 firms there, and which may sound a little weird coming from a guy at Sedwick saying, hey, there's other firms, but there is. What are we supposed to do? Lie? It's not like everybody doesn't know there's more firms out there. You just have to figure out, though, what works best for you. And I have found in the 20 years that I've been doing this, that if you treat people the right way, it's going to come back around like it's supposed to. And doing that, treating people the right way, is to give them all the information they can have and be armed as successful as possible to knock it out of the park, like I said, on their first deployment. So I always appreciate when I met Cecil and Tamar and the team to understand what they're looking to do with the next group of experienced, to build the next group of experienced adjusters. So I'm appreciative to talking to groups like that where they let me come in and, again, just share my experience. That's all I really wanted to do, because the last thing we want you to do is get out there and then feel like, man, I wish somebody had told me. Well, if you hadn't gotten through this and you haven't gotten through what Cecil and them are putting together, then you should never say, well, I wish somebody told me. I think that that's the whole point of this, is to kind of build you up to know that you're confident in what you're doing and you're prepared and you've done everything you can to be successful. And some of it, unfortunately, is on the job training, meaning you don't really know what you don't know till you get that out there. But if you've practiced the things that I've told you today, if you practice the things that I know his team is going to tell you today, then you will certainly be successful. And I'm excited to hopefully cross paths with you as we begin our journeys. I'm ending mine probably. You're starting yours. But again, this is what I do. I want to come in and just, again, be upfront, be real, be raw, try to be as honest as I can with, pitfalls in the industry and what I can do to help you. So that's my spiel. I just kind of wanted to take the time to visit with you for a few minutes. I certainly appreciate the team letting me do that. Again, there's a lot of people out there like me at other firms that can do the same thing. I'm not the end all be all expert of it all. I just have my own journey to share, my own experiences to share. And if we connect on some level and it makes sense to you and it helps you, then I've done what I was supposed to do. So appreciate it, Cecil.
Drew. Yeah, come on, Drew. See, that's why I mess with you, Drew. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's it. Seriously.
But in saying that, I'm happy to take some questions if anybody has them specifically for me. If not, I got the girls starting second grade tomorrow, so I'll probably jet out before you guys are done. But I know Cecil can answer a million questions too. He himself has been through my own webinar, my own orientation. Yeah. But again, I'm happy to take some questions if anybody has them for me. And if not, then I'll bid you guys good night. And Cecil, you can, take it away like I know you will.
All right. Awesome, man. I appreciate you sharing that, Drew. And it's funny. So you start, I think you got another 20 years in you, but so exactly what you went through 20 years ago is exactly what I went through as well. And I'm still friends with the folks from my first deployment. Like everything that you mentioned is exactly the same thing. So Stephanie says, happy anniversary.
Yeah,
China
I appreciate
says,
that, guys.
happy anniversary. This turquoise say happy 20th. Michelle, happy 20th.
Yeah, lots of
wow.
kudos coming in. I appreciate that, you guys. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, again, this isn't for me; it's for you. I'm not here
Yeah.
for me. I'm here for you. But just like when I needed somebody to be there for me, there was a Paul Knox and a Paul Daniel
Mm,
and a Bill Bilta, and those are names from 20 years ago that I've never forgotten and never forgotten to thank, and continue to keep in touch with and thank to this day. So
absolutely.
keep in
Yeah.
touch with these groups that you're building relationships with. Keep in touch with Cecil and Tamar and the team, and I think that's the only thing you can do to set yourself off on the right foot. So
Yeah,
I very
all
much
about
appreciate
building
you guys.
relationships. Yeah, appreciate you, Drew. Appreciate you. I'll let you get to your daughter there, brother. We don't want to keep you too late, but everybody says thank you. Very informative. Brother, I always appreciate you coming in. I like every single time. Thank you very much. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, no, you're welcome. And I am going to answer one question if you don't mind, and that's from Turquoise that I just saw pop up there because I think it's the most important one that everybody always has, which is how long is the question everybody wants to know is when am I going to be deployed and how long am I going to be there? Right? It's the magic question. And especially for brand new adjusters is how long is it going to take me to be able to, get on board? And the question is sort of answered in itself, which says, do we have to wait for a huge storm? I'll be honest and tell you that the majority of brand new folks, that is when they get deployed. Because think about this. How much widespread damage is there during a hurricane? There's a ton of it, right? It's huge. We can see the storm coming. We can prepare. Now, you're going to all get caught up. I know I did anyway. And watching the Weather Channel, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, stop doing that. The Weather Channel, they sensationalize everything. And you're going to be wondering every time there's a hailstorm in this city or that city, why you didn't get called. And you have to remember, as an independent, we're only called if we exceed the resources that a staff company has. And when you look at a tornado that wipes out a mile-wide strip of land, that's just not a lot when you compare how many of those people might be insured by different companies and then how many people might be staff first, right? So in this case, yes, a lot of people are going to be deployed on their first storm as a big one, but the more preparation you've done, the more network building you have done, the more licenses you've obtained, the more certifications you've gotten, the more trainings you've been to, the more relationships you build, the faster that comes along. I started in 04, 05 Hurricane Katrina hit. So guess what happens in 06? A million people go out there and start getting their adjuster's license because every friend in the world told them what a killing we made on those storms. Well, guess what happened in 06? Nothing. Nothing in 07 either. Not until 08 when Hurricane Gustav hit Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and then Hurricane Ike came in right behind it. So sometimes you're in the middle of the wave and sometimes you're underneath it. That's just the way that this particular industry works. So I just wanted to hit that one question because I thought it's a really important one that a lot of people ask because, again, you're stuck trying to figure it out. And with that, I know we'll segue into what Cecil's going to talk about today with you guys. And it's important because if you don't do the preparation, it doesn't matter when you get that start. If you don't knock it out of the park, then it's really hard to tag on the next one and the next one and the next one. So I appreciate you guys. I'm going to let y'all go. I hope you have a nice night, and we'll talk to you soon. If I can do anything, you guys got my contact information.
Wait. I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you guys feel about women's rights?
About women's rights as far as what?
Right.
I mean, I think that's an important piece, right? In fact, if you've gotten on anything that Sedwick puts together, you'll find that diversity, inclusion, all of that is very, very important to Sedwick. It's everything that we preach, and it's certainly everything that we do deal with in our day-to-day working environment. So as far as now, the question, do I see a number of women being successful in this industry? Yeah, in fact, many of them have been a whole lot better than me. So I think that's an important piece to consider as you're thinking about this. In the old school environment, you look at the adjusting world itself and you start saying that these men, it's a men-dominated industry. Well, not anymore, because you used to see that was all field work too. There's field work, desk work, remote work, and it is mixed between it all. So if you want to hear more about that, certainly jump on our orientation webinar because we certainly do address that. So good question.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. Good question.
All righty.
All right, Cecil, I'm going to take off, man. I'll see you next time.
Okay, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah, have a good one now.
Have a good evening, Drew.
Too. Take care, y'all.
All righty. So, and like I said, man, I love Drew, man. Like he always keep it real, for real. Yeah, I mean, so, and for those of you that have been on this, man, I don't need to say that. Yeah, I mean, so is it possible to be an IA doing daily claims only? Absolutely. So I actually I spoke with a IA firm owner on what's today, Sunday? So this was Thursday or Friday. So one of the things that he mentioned in order to do daily claims, so in Texas alone, Texas is huge, first off. But one of the things that he recommended that if you want to have a career doing daily claims only around your area, around your city, you want to get on at least 4 to 6 rosters where 4 to 6 companies are giving you daily claims. You know what I mean? If you got 4 to 6 of them and all of them giving you daily claims, because one of them gonna give you, 1 a week, 2 a week, one of them might drop you 3 a week. But if you got 4 to 6 of them doing that every week, then you will create a daily claim flow and a daily claim train, essentially, that will sustain you throughout the year. Because you got to remember, dailies are you're working liability, you're working property, you know what I mean? Like there's a vast amount of different claims that you're doing for daily, not just property and auto. Well, at least I am anyway. But I also have, that previous experience. So if you have small children and traveling doesn't work for you, then daily may be an option for you where, I'll travel up to 150 miles from my home or, 100 miles from where I'm at, right? So that is absolutely an option. So NACA is definitely an option. So, and actually, we're going to talk about that here in a second, about some of the different organizations that you could be a part of, because it really is. So, what's it say? It ain't what you know, it's who you know. No, it's about whose relationship you've built, right? Because I know a bunch of people, but I ain't got relationships with a bunch of people. You know what I mean? I know 3,000 people in the Facebook group, but I ain't got relationships with 3,000 people. You know what I mean? I know quite a few of y'all, because y'all feel me, but even the ones that that's employed with me in Dallas, or you know what I mean? So but relationships. I mean, how are you building those relationships, right? And Mr. Ernest tell you know what I mean, claim volume is not the same in Chicago versus Nebraska, right? It's not the same amount of work. I mean, so I remember, I don't know, this was earlier this year, last year, I went from Nebraska to Iowa to South Dakota, you know what I mean? So following the storms. And again, we'll get into that here in a little bit.
So
And Miss Stephanie.
Cecil,
Uh-huh.
hey, I was gonna jump in real quick
Oh,
because
please.
Drew he talked about something. Hello everyone, this is Tamara, by the way. I hope you all are having a great day. I'm so excited. Y'all, we have 86, we got up to 90 people that participated in tonight's call. So for everybody that showed up tonight, y'all need to give yourself a pat on the back, because this is where we drop the gems and the nuggets, right? This is where we give you guys strategy and information on how to be truly successful in this industry. And you guys showed up. And Drew just like told y'all the roadmap, right? So he touched on a few things, but one of the things that I want to specifically go to is the power of networking, right? Because if me and Cecil talk about our story and how we met each other, it was through a small business university, right? And part of our assignment is to always network and reach out and connect, right? So in the midst of all of that, we have birthed ICTC. Like, we have to understand how powerful this is when we talk about networking and how that moves you around within the industry. So guys, when you all are out here, when you're in these groups and these chats, network. If you're in Houston, I'm in Houston, let's build, get some training done or whatever we got to do to help you guys be prepared and take advantage of it. So yeah, go ahead, Cecil.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And again, business owner, networking. So absolutely. So all righty, so we'll go ahead and get started with our info jewels and our, yeah, I mean, so man, look at here, y'all. Yeah, I mean, so we've been doing this for free for doggone 2 years now. You know what I'm saying? And we got some folks in this group right now, on the Zoom call right now, that can attest to changing their doggone tax bracket. You understand what I'm saying? So what we do and what we provide is by all means to make you guys better, because I am one of those that got NFA'd by Big Red. I can't work for Big Red no more. Actually, quite frankly, I ain't gonna. They are a great company. It just wasn't a great opportunity for me. And I didn't do everything that I needed to do to be successful. And as a result, we didn't have a successful outcome from our partnership. But needless to say, though, I took that and I dove head first. Yeah, I mean, you mean to tell me you're going, well, now let me show you what we gonna do, right? I mean, so we went from that to creating our own IA firm, to creating our own training resource, to creating our own network, to creating our own folks to bring in, to start bringing in the director of Sedwick, to bring in the co-chair of diversity and equity inclusion from RISE, to bring in doggone lawyers and workers' comp experts, you know what I mean, to make sure that y'all get that information, that y'all get that knowledge that y'all need to be successful, because they wasn't giving it to us, you know what I mean?
Nope.
So at all, right? So maybe now it's gotten better. Well, I'm sure it's gotten better now, but and it all goes back to who you work for, right? So if like I said, like Nat said, Andrew's information is in the chat, but needless to say, we here now, everything happens for a reason, and God don't make no mistakes, doggone it.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. You know what I mean? Licensing. Everybody, I got my license. I can't get deployed. You know what I'm saying? What license you got? Well, I only got Texas. Okay. Anything happen in Texas lately? Hurricane hitting Texas? No. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, Texas is huge. You get 4 to 6 daily claim rosters under your belt. You can maintain and do daily claims and all that good stuff. Well, you know what I mean? But if you are wanting to work disaster situations or large scale where you can actually go out, deploy, make some good money for a couple months. So I just got, hey, stop it. So I actually just got back from a deployment. Well, actually, I'm still kind of working at deployment now, but hold up, y'all. Let me grab this real quick. Hold up. I don't know.
So while he stepped away, anyone have any quick questions?
Well, real quick,
mhm.
someone asked about the info from Drew. If you guys came in late, just scroll up in the messages. His information is right in there. If you have any questions about Sedwick, scroll up, get that information and use it. Okay.
And also,
oh yeah, I did have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So I do actually like Sedwick, and if you have worked with Sedwick, I had a quick question. What is the key to like being able to work for different carriers with Sedwick? I worked with the Mutual and Chubb with Sedwick, but I was trying to see like the best strategy or way for success for working with different carriers with Sedwick.
The best strategy is going to be time management. How can
Okay,
you effectively, and here's why I say that, because working for different carriers is you're going to have to be able to manage that, right? So you can do it, but one of your big things is going to be able, how are you going to be able to manage multiple
you understand
carriers?
what I mean? Like, so for example, say like I wanted to work for like Allstate with Sedwick is basically what I'm asking. What's the best way to parlay the experience I have with Sedwick already into that new deployment? I don't know if that helps rephrase the question.
So once you got, all right, so you're saying, all right, so I've already deployed with one company. Now I'm looking to deploy with another. How do I transfer those?
Yeah, I've already deployed with Sedwick before for one carrier. Now I want to deploy with another carrier with Sedwick again. What's the best way to go about that? Yeah.
Oh, well, you want to holler at Cedric. All right, so most, if not all, well, actually all of them. So each IA firm has different trainings for each of the carriers that they support. So whatever carrier that you did with Cedric, let's just say it was Allstate, right? So
it was Chubb.
It was who?
Chubb.
Chubb. Oh, yeah, Chubb. All right, so you already did Chubb. You went through Chubb's training. You did everything for Chubb. You know what I mean? You did your thing on Chubb, right? Now you already in Cedric's system. You know what I mean? You already in their training database. Start being nosy. Go find out what Allstate training they got. Go see what State Farm training they got and take those trainings.
Okay.
Once you take those trainings, like talk to your manager at Chubb, whoever your deployment manager is with Chubb.
Uh-huh.
Like, hey, fam, hey, I just got my All-State training done, right? You know what I mean? I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
man, cool, man. We got some All-State stuff over here. What licenses you got? You know what I mean? That's gonna be the next question.
Okay.
What licenses you got? You know what I mean? So we're gonna get into some licensing strategy actually right now, but take advantage of the training that they have available, especially in Sedwick. They got a lot of good training. All right,
Oh,
so
thank you so much, man. That provided a lot of clarity. I appreciate you.
yeah, take that carrier's training, get that carrier certification, so that when you do start applying, say you go pilot and you
Yeah,
applying for all state, well, guess what? You already all state certified through
I
Sedgwick
see.
for free.
I see.
Yeah,
I see. I have a
yeah.
question.
Yeah, great.
Are you on social media? Do you have Twitter, Instagram, or anything?
Oh, man, I'm everywhere, baby. You know what I mean?
Can you post your social media down below, please, in the chat?
Yeah. So somebody part of the group there. So
Yeah,
if you
I
can,
just got on here. That's why I didn't see it.
okay, gotcha. All right. So if somebody can post the BBIA network Facebook group, pretty please, so that we can get Mr. Dams in there. So does Cedric have a deployment line number you can call to check for
Yeah,
deployment?
that was my
Yes.
question. I was just about to ask.
Yes,
I think
they
I'm on
do.
your
They
roster and
do.
licensed everywhere.
Yeah, they do have a deployment number, but the thing is, they have different recruiters for specific deployments. So they have like one recruiter for inspectors on demand, one for auto, one for property. So you have to call like several people to reach them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That does make sense because I've never gotten like any mass text or nothing like the other firms do. But I
Yeah.
registered with them a while back, and I'm
Yeah,
also State Farm
Cedric is more
certified
recruiter
too.
based. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Yeah.
again, I don't know if you really understand who was just talking. Drew
I was
is the
just
main.
about to say that.
Literally, you guys are asking a lot of questions about Sedwick. He is the Sedwick. He gave you his personal email address to contact him. So those questions you have, send them straight to him. He is the guy to go for Sedwick.
Hey, can you repost his email address, please?
Yeah, we reposted it. Yeah, we reposted. So if you scroll up in the chat right there, but
And your Twitter and your IG.
Yeah. So I was actually just about to say that, Nat. So I definitely appreciate you saying that. So we just had the director of Cedric on the phone call, right? So yeah, we'll probably have I'll reach out to Constance and see if she's available. But we'll have like we go for the heavy hitters. We go for the heavy hitters. I mean, worst thing they're gonna tell us is no. You know what I mean? So like I said, we had the co-chair of Rise Claims, like she's a chairman, you know. So like we go for big boys. I'm just saying, and the big girls, you know what I mean? So his email address has been reposted in the chat again there for you guys. So definitely reach out to him. Drew is super cool, super awesome. Yeah, I mean, just don't be on no bull when you reach out to him, is all I'm saying. Make sure you got your ducks in a row and you're ready to roll, right? But yeah, I don't want to keep y'all all night. So yes, Raven, this is every Sunday for the month of August. Every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We usually go for 6 to 8 weeks, but we just gonna do the month of August this week because I'm deployed. You know what I mean? Nat's deployed. You know what I mean? Like everybody deployed. You know what I mean? So
What's funny is that you actually did say my current deployment indirectly, but I'm trying to like prepare myself more for cat season just to give myself more options. So I'm studying I'm studying for the Louisiana Citizens, and I actually want to take my exact free cert.
okay, that's perfect. You in the right spot because it's gonna put you up on some game you probably ain't even know real quick, Ken.
Yeah, and I just wanted to
Yeah.
thank everybody for this meeting, even though I came on late. Whoever was in charge of coordinating it and whoever posted it on Twitter, I appreciate y'all. God bless.
Oh, no problem at all. No problem at all. JC, when my new job starts. Hey man, holla at him, man. I'm just saying. All right. But let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Yeah, I mean, so again, ICTC, the Insurance Career Training Center, we built this to create a community to get you all the tools, resources, and knowledge that you need, right? So, licensing strategy, right? You didn't decide that you wanted to be an independent adjuster, staff adjuster, whatever the case may be, right? you didn't heard about the money, and just like Drew said, you heard about the money, but you didn't hear how much it was going to cost you, right? So that's all a part of and encompassing about what we try to educate folks about and to encourage our community about, because we say off top, you're going to need about 5,000, you know what I mean, to deploy. You know what I mean, that's hotels, food, gas, all that. You're going to need about 5,000. At least 3,000, because you may not get paid right off. You know what I mean? It may be a month before you get paid, right? But that's neither here nor there. We're gonna keep the focus on licensing strategy, right? For today. Now, at this point, if we are talking about licensing strategy, then you would have already completed your 40-hour pre-licensing course if you're in Texas. You already took your exam. You already did your background fingerprints. You've already applied for your Texas all lines adjustments. We're just talking about Texas here. Now, the same strategy applies across the board, in my opinion. But we started with Texas. Most of us got started with Texas. Texas is the largest reciprocal state in the nation, meaning that once you get your Texas license, every 32 other states accept your Texas license as being valid. Only thing you need to do is pay that state fee to get licensed in that state, right? So, and TDI has approved your license, right? So you are ready to go. You got your Texas license. Now what, right? Keep in mind, the more licenses you have, the more valuable you are, right? Because you can work anywhere. You can work anything. I mean, so right now, I'm actually working a desk deployment right now. Like, it's my first desk deployment. I actually tried to release myself, and they wouldn't let me go and told me, man, just go work from home, man. Just go. But I tried to release. You know what I mean? So,
not to interrupt, but just to emphasize his point, the average pilot desk adjuster has 20 licenses, just to let you know.
Yes, period. 21. Yeah, I mean, so absolutely. And you got to remember, those are including the states where you don't even need a license, though. So a lot of you actually can work in, I'd say, about 16 other states because they don't require a license. But have you thought about that? You know what I mean? Have you thought about working in those 16 other states besides Texas? Are those 16 other states on your resume, right? Are you get what I'm saying? So the more licenses you have, the more opportunity you have, right? Keep in mind, though, now, don't get all them licenses at once. You know, I'm just telling you from experience. You know what I mean? So I got my first real deployment check where I had some money to spend, and I went out and bought as many licenses as I can get, right? Let me tell you what happened 2 years later when those licenses were you know, I had that many licenses that I got to renew, and I got to renew all of those licenses every 2 years. So every 2 years, I'm out of a chunk of money, a big chunk, because I jumped in it, got all these licenses at one time, and now I got to pay for them every other year, and vote, because that's what I did. So I recommend break it up every month, 2 weeks, however you get paid. You know what I mean? So that, you know, when the 2 years come back, you know, you got 2 weeks for that next one due, month before that next one due, another month for that, you know what I mean? So instead of 10 doggone licenses that you got to pay for all at once. But like Mr. Dens was saying, I didn't want you to have 21. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. You know what I mean? So as of March, I had 16. So as I think I got about 22 now. Yeah, I don't even know how many I got now, but every couple of weeks or every month or so, I add another one, right? I wait another month and I add another one, right? So having a licensing strategy is definitely important, because that's going to set the path about what you can do. You know what I mean? If you only have a Texas license and a hurricane hit Louisiana, if they don't have emergency license, you SOL. Right. So thinking about your licensing strategy when you're coming out the gate is going to prepare you to be on top of it. Right. Also, they're due all on your birthday month now. See, well, I thought that was dependent on the state. So you may be right. But I believe you. But still, you know what I mean? That's licensing money that you have to pay for. Right. Now, when you're thinking about your licensing, think about, what do you want to do? Now, mind you, there are different pathways that you can take with licensing, right? Or with insurance adjusting. You know what I mean? There's workers' comp, property, auto, bodily injury. I met a airplane adjuster. I literally met an airplane adjuster, right? She works at the airport as an adjuster. You know what I mean? If you was on Cedric's previous calls that we've had with Drew, there are opportunities to be an adjuster for Buc-ee's. There are opportunities to be an adjuster for Walmart, for all of these different companies. So don't limit yourself to just insurance companies, right? There are risk management opportunities available across the board. Think about it like this, right? Anything that has insurance has to have an adjuster. Anything that has insurance has to have an adjuster, because what does an adjuster do? They indemnify the insured and in a way protects the carrier, right? So because you want to be free, you want to be honest, open, and fair. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to rob the insurance company, but you ain't trying to rob the insured either, though, right? Because we got to indemnify them. Our job is to pay them what they owe. You know what I mean? So your phone got insurance, your car got insurance, your house got insurance, your life got insurance if you got it. You know what I mean? Everything that has insurance has to have an adjuster. Crops, planes, trains, boats, they need adjusters at port. You understand what I'm saying? So don't limit yourself to just auto and property. You know what I mean? So explore all of that. Now, here in particular, we're going to talk about property. So I do property, I do liability, I do auto, I do whatever they tell me to do, doggone it. You know what I mean? I've done lightning, water, hail, wind, water. I feel like Captain Planet. Wind, water, heart. You know what I mean? I need it all. You know what I mean? So, but in the sense of property, here is a licensing strategy that you can use. First off, what do you want to work? Two of the major components with property or auto, or for that matter, there's hail and there's hurricane. The two H's. No, she's not hit. Hail and hurricane. Right now, if you are wanting to work hail, now mind you, I know a dude that put all three of his kids through college on hailstorms. He didn't go work no hurricanes. He didn't do Katrina. He didn't do Ida. He just worked hail. That's it. You know what I mean? And I enjoy working hail claims actually because they're not too hard. You know what I mean? You're essentially looking for dings and dents on soft metals and therefore, but a little bit more than that. But you get the point though, right? So hail season is typically from March to August, I believe, somewhere along there. And then hurricane season is usually from October to about January, you know what I mean? So you got the first half of the season is hail, second half of the season is hurricane, usually, right? Now, if you want to work both, you need to make sure that you have the licenses to work both. So what are some of the states that are historically hit by hail every year? Here are top 10. Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Kentucky, Indiana, Minnesota, Alabama, and actually there's two Minnesotas on there. Michigan, it should what it should have been, right? But if you have these states, also include the ones that don't require you to have a license, right? You have 15 states that you can work in for hail claims, right? If you decide that you want to work hail claims, now you need to get that hail knowledge, right? How do you recognize hail? What does it look like when hail hits composition shingles? What does hail look like when it hits clay shingles, right? So now you start getting that knowledge because, hey, I want to work hail. I got all these licenses. Now I'm going to go get some hail training, right? So you start building your business, right? If you're independent, what does your business provide? Well, we provide hail inspections. We provide hurricane inspections. We provide auto inspections. We provide bodily injury inspections. Whatever it is that you want to do with your business, with the services that you want to provide for your business, if you want to do hail, these are the top 10 states that you want to have to do hail. Now, why would these be the top 10 states? Let me tell you why. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let Cuz tell you why.
Simultaneous to all this popping off, there's gonna be a storm pops off over here. There's another tornado alley over there. It's really the only really bad area. It goes up into Indiana, okay? Kentucky, Tennessee, this area right here, Kentucky, Tennessee. That's why we had those on our hail license strategy. I'm gonna move forward, so that's
Exactly what I'm saying. So what you just saw was hailstorms from 1982 to 2011. And what are the states that they hit? Those are the states that are primarily hit for the last, I don't even know how many decades that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decades where they have been historically hit. Now, mind you, Kansas ain't a licensing state, so you work in Kansas. I don't think it's a real licensed state, but there are 16 states that are not licensed. You don't have to have a license to work. You know what I mean? So, but because you got your Texas adjusted license, oh, you licensed, you Texas, you got that training. Come on over here. You know what I mean? So they need help. You know what I mean? Plain and simple, like Miss Roberta was saying. But those are the states that are historically hit every single year. Tennessee is not a licensed state, right? And I've been writing a lot of Kentucky, Tennessee claims lately too. But those are states where you don't need a license that hailstorms historically hit. That should be a part of your licensing strategy as you start getting into the game. Like, don't just get a license and then just get all the licenses just because you want to have out loud. No. You want to work hail? Start with these, right? And that's going to help you during desk. Because if you want a desk remote deployment, if you got all the licenses that are historically hit by hail, the chances of you getting a desk deployment are increased. Like Mr. Dan was saying, 21. Pilot wants you to have 21. You know what I mean? Shout out 21 Savage. You know what I mean? So 21 licenses. And again, get them as you can. Don't go broke getting licensed. Don't go broke getting licensed.
So I just want to reiterate, since the season is hurricane now, you would recommend hurricane licenses. Is that correct?
Now that you mentioned it, my dear brother, let's talk about a hurricane licensing strategy. All right. So your hurricane licensing strategy is going to be based on historically, again, we're using data. Right? I ain't making none of this up. You know what I mean? This is all real life data based on what's getting hit. You know what I mean? Historically, from 1982 to 2011, it's actually a little bit further than that, but they are the same states. Not much has changed, right? So for hurricane season, Florida has been the most hit state by hurricanes in the last 6 decades. Florida. And obviously y'all know that. I mean, well, if you don't know, now you know, right? Shout out to Alex for having 18 at the moment. You know what I mean? So you already on the right track. So if I was you, I apply for pilot for a desk position because they hiring right now. And if you got 18 licenses, especially they looking for Arizona for show.
Okay, I'm gonna let you know they're hiring for pilot Allstate Property and pilot Allstate Auto. So whichever one, and if you live more than 40 miles from the location, they'll give you a per diem too. So just to let you know. I mean, you don't have to have 20 licenses to start, so don't let that throw you off. But eventually, they want you to build up to 20 to 21 licenses. So maybe like 2 to 4 weeks, you can build up, like buy like 2 free each paycheck. And I just wanted to add to this list that Michigan, because it's the cheapest one, $15.
Yeah, so Michigan should have been with the hurricane license, but yeah, that's exactly it. So so it was 2 Minnesotas. One of them should have been Michigan. So, but yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I mean, so your hurricane strategy is a little different from your hail strategy, right? So me, I get my hail starting out. because I think that's a little bit easier to obtain. Like Michigan, $15. I think one of them like $27 or something like that. So, but having your Hale licensing strategy taken care of, cool. Now you can work from January to August, right? Just running Hale throughout the US, right? But when hurricane season start, what are the licenses that you need? And again, based on data, historical data, right on Shelton for 29, but Florida, Texas, Louisiana, all of your coastal states, North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, New York, and Virginia. Now, New York. Now, mind you, if you get a New York license, they gonna call you.
Okay, sorry
However,
to disturb you. I have a quick, stupid question. So, what would you say to prepare for wildfires? Because, like, what's happening in Hawaii and Cali?
yeah, so as far as okay, so what's the question in regards to Hawaii or Cali? What's the
Yeah, because I just read and I watched the YouTube that it's probably like the worst wildfire in modern U.S. history.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely it is. You know what I mean? But you gotta remember though, that's a small island. You're looking at about what if the whole island burned down, what 10,000 buildings, if that, or how many houses are on the island, I guess is what I'm saying. Which we're gonna get into here in a second. You know what I mean? But if you can afford it, if they are offering you enough money for you to afford it and to deploy it, go for it. If it's just something that you want to do, go for it. Like I ain't gonna knock no Hawaii, ain't nothing. Uh, but for me personally, I'm gonna need some money to go down there because the flight is 1,500. You know, and then when you get down there, you got hotel food. You know what I mean, and that's high because it's an
Damn.
island. You know what I mean. So
Yeah.
if they ain't
Okay, that's
paying
the same
well,
thing
I
with
ain't go.
Cali, just to let you know. Yeah, I mean, I'm from Texas, but you're gonna pay like just to get a Walmart bag, just to let you know.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, so Virginia is not a licensed state. I appreciate that. But they are affected by hurricanes, right? So why would we choose these states? Well, let me tell you why. From 1982 to 2011, Florida has been hit with 122 hurricanes and or named storms. Texas is right behind them with 64, with Virginia down at the bottom at 12. You know what I mean? So this is the data backing up why you should get these licenses and why, right? So these are the ones I got. You know what I mean? These are the ones that I'm working on if I ain't got them already, right? So I like doing Hale, so I got my Hale licenses, so I got most of those, if not all of them. I got dang near all of the. I don't think I got North Carolina, but I think I got all of them. North Carolina and New York. And Florida won't give me mine, you know what I mean, because of my background, but that's another story, you know what I mean? So, but historically, data-driven licensing strategies. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're presenting to you guys right now, right? So, and again, going back to what Willie is saying, networking, building relationships, right? That's what gets you in the door. Go to those conferences, go to those trainings, go to those meetups and all of that good stuff, because those relationships is what's going to get you through the door.
He's not lying. I mean, I'm an introvert, so but most of my deployments have been remote and field. But since going in, like to the ones that's in my city, especially like a hub like Dallas, I've met so many different people, like IA firm owners that like multi-millionaires, other people that have
That's great.
experience, both staff, contractors that you can write estimates for. So it's a
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. And for those of you that don't know, Dallas is actually the largest hub of IA firms in the US, actually. So if not all of them are there in Dallas, which is why you have a lot of folks going to Dallas. I'm working for Pilot, I'm working for such and such, and they all going to Dallas. That's because all of them are there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the deal is with it, but it's like all of them are there. All right. So again, that's your hail strategy. That's your hurricane strategy. I mean, let's look at those states again. All right. Take a picture of it. You know what I mean? If you're not sure what licenses to get, start with those. Work your way down. You know what I mean? Michigan. one Michigan, one Minnesota. So that was a typo. My bad. If you are interested, hurricane season coming up. You know what I mean? And as hot as it's been, severe weather is created by the heat of bouncing off of the earth and creating storms, essentially what it boils down to, right? As you start creating cities and it's concrete everywhere, there's nowhere for that heat to absorb into. So there ain't no fields, you know what I mean? Ain't no grass and earth that it can absorb into. So a lot of that heat bounces off the concrete, bounces off the metals and all that good stuff, and it creates severe storms. We have had a hell of a heat streak, whatever you want to say, climate change, all of that. So I'm expecting hurricane season within the next year or two to get really, really outrageous, right? And as you get, for those of you that have your pilot's license, your drone pilot or pilot license, and you start getting into the weather-related events and all that good stuff, how to read it and all that, you know what I'm talking about. But it's been hot as hell. I think hurricane season gonna pop off. You know what I mean? So with those states, get your hurricane states. Yeah, so Miss Hope, let me know. You want to take a little snapshot real quick? You know what I mean? I'll wait a couple seconds.
Yes,
Go and get
sir.
those hell states. You know what I mean? Yeah, you got it? All
We're still
right.
on winter.
Let's
Got
see. Okay, cool. So not sure what states to get. Start with those. Now, again, ain't the end all be all. I ain't saying don't get none of them. But don't get these or get only these. I ain't saying none of that. I'm just saying historically, based on the data, these are the states that get hit the most. Your hurricane. I ain't saying you gotta get all of them. I ain't saying get none of them. But historically, based on the data, these are the ones that get hit the most. Yeah, I mean, but that's not all that goes into consideration for your licensing strategy, right? Top four: Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, Florida. If you don't get nothing else, try to get those four. Yeah, I mean, Louisiana got hit with what, 2, 3 of them last year. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just saying. Texas get hit with earthquakes, doggone it. Yeah, I mean, so it's all possible. So if you can get those top four, get those if you can. But other reasons why you would get a licensing for a state: population density. If you are doing auto and you are in Houston, how many cars we got in Houston? There's 5 million people. How many cars you think? You know what I mean? You what, 2, 3, 4 cars per household? So you're looking at 20 million billion cars just in Houston, right? Based on
Not to
population.
mention 18-wheelers. Like we haven't even got to that.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
A whole nother industry.
That's where I want to go to.
Yeah, that 18. Yeah, buddy.
Yes.
I've been thinking about that one a lot too. Yeah, baby. So, but just that, we got the port. You know what I mean? Whenever a container comes in and it's got damaged goods on it, they got insurance. Who need to go out onto the port? Adjusters. You know what I mean? Population density, right? How close is it to the water? You know what I mean? We talk about the hurricanes and everybody along the the Rio Grande and all that. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I'm talking about, Louisiana, Florida, and all that good stuff. Next to the ocean. But do you think that they have severe weather up in what's the biggest lake in Lake Michigan? You know what I mean? You think they got severe weather up there around those bodies of water? You know what I mean? Right? And then see, Willie, 2 minutes, right? And then do they have a professional team? Like most of the cities that have a professional football, basketball team, they're going to have a large population density because they have to support that professional team. And they're going to have to be close to a body of water because how they going to get water? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So all of this plays a part into your licensing strategy, right? So maybe, one of the states that you were thinking about getting is not on those 10, but you know that it has a huge population density and it's close to water and they have a protein. Get it. You know what I mean? Because chances are that if something were to pop off, the insurance companies that are in that area won't be able to handle the overflow because of that population density, that they're going to need help. And if you have those licenses and you are on those rosters and you have your resume up to par and you are building those relationships with the folks that are in those departments, and you're reaching out to Andrews, you're reaching out to the Cindy's, you're reaching out to the the folks that are, and you're building relationships. You know what I mean? You're not just calling and saying, hey, anything? No, right. You know what I mean? Hey, girl, how you doing? Yeah, build that relationship, right? When I first started in my business, you know what I mean? So I would just send cookies. You know what I mean? I'll send cookies with a nice little note, you know what I mean? My phone number, and let you know that I'll be calling you soon. You know what I mean? So that's an option, right? So emergency licenses don't always happen. So they just released emergency licenses for Hawaii. Cool. Get your emergency license, but you have to get it through a firm. You know what I mean? You just can't go and get an emergency license by yourself. You know what I mean? You have to actually be appointed with a firm to give you a license. So minimum, absolute minimum, 5 for any desk deployment that you're trying to do. Pilot wants 21. I recommend 21 because they wouldn't let me go. You know what I mean? And also based on your pay schedule, you get those licenses based on when you can afford it. So if it's across the board on your birthday that they do, that's a little bit different, right? So ain't nothing I can do about that. You know what I mean? But if you have the ability to spread it out, I absolutely would. Because again, I got all of them and I'm paying for all of them all at once. And yeah. So would you recommend going to paying for an academy to get the certs and not pass the years? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Ashley Severe, his training, man, look at here. Mr. Ashley's training changed my life. You know what I'm saying? And I took it after I got NFA with State Farm. Had I took it before, wouldn't have happened. Guaranteed. Go guaranteed. You know what I mean? So Ms. Chantre says licensing in Michigan is about 6 weeks behind. Sounds about right. You know what I'm saying? About some real estate in Dallas. Hey, for real, while you playing, we was talking about getting an Airbnb just for adjusters. You know what I mean? So, and creating a network of insurance adjusting B&Bs strictly for adjusting. You know what I mean? You got traveling nurses and all that, but that's another story. But y'all get the point though. You know what I mean? So certifications, you got all these licenses, right? But you have no training. What are some of the certifications that you can get? California earthquake accreditation. Now, I don't plan on going to California, but I got my California earthquake. You know what I mean? HAG. HAG is one of the most respected certifications that you can get in the industry. You know what I mean? They teach you about multiple things regarding building structures, building codes, and all of that good stuff, right? And they have different variations of the ones you could take. Louisiana Citizen and Mississippi Plans, those are carrier certifications, Mr. Dams, that you can get under your belt as well. And most IA firms have these certifications if they're a firm that they work with. Right on respects, you know what I mean, getting those certifications, you know what I mean? But those are very valuable certifications. Tell you right now, you can't even work Ohio claims unless you got a HAG certification for pilot in all states. So having that alone is valuable, right? NFIP FEMA, you know what I'm saying? National Flood and FEMA. You know what I mean? You get that FEMA certification, your flood certification. Get your rope and harness, your IRRC, your international codes, it's the codes, you know what I mean? It's the international codes, right? So get that certification. Like the director of Sedwick just told you, having that State Farm license from any firm will get you certified with every firm, right? So get that State Farm certification. You know what I mean? Estimatics policy and auto. I think it's fire and estimatics. But get it. You know what I mean? Your Symbility. I mean, Symbility doesn't have a certification. Take they training that they offer. They give you badges. You know what I mean? How many years do you have to be to get your, I think it's 4 years for your FEMA or flood. or something like that. But I think I want to say, no, 2 years for flood. Okay, there we go. Answer right there. 4 years unless companies bring you on. There you go. All right, so it was right. So 4 years. But get that SimAbility, get those SimAbility badges. You know what I mean? TWIA. You know what I mean? TWIA is used not only in insurance adjusting, but trucking. And I think I'm talking about the right one, but all of that. Get your TWIA. It's gonna allow you to get on the ports and all that good stuff, right? It's gonna allow you to work the doggone oil fields and all that. You know what I mean? So IRRC is the international standard for residential codes or something like that. So it literally is the standards behind why we need to do why when rebuilding a home. You know what I mean? We is yearly. Thank you, Ms. Turquoise. You know what I mean? And then Xactimate. You know what I mean? Xactimate certification alone, you ain't even gotta be an adjuster. I know somebody right now writing estimates as a certified X2 or X1 level 2 certified Xactimate person. Only thing he do is write estimates. That's it for roofing companies and, you know what I mean, for everybody. You know what I mean? That's all he do. He ain't no adjuster. You don't need to be a certified adjuster to write estimates. You know what I mean? So get your Xactimate certification. Some carriers care about it, some carriers don't. Some IA firms care about it, some firms don't. You know what I mean? But I'd rather need it and not have it than to have it and not need it. Or need it and y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I mean. You know what I mean? So going back to that Xactimate, becoming an Xactimate expert. I mean, contractors, public adjusters, appraisers, restoration companies, anybody that needs an estimate is going to need an Xactimate expert. SimAbility is on their butt. But right now, I think Xactimate got about 70% of the industry right now. You know what I mean? Like for real, for real. You know what I mean? So associations. I mean, remember, talking about building those relationships, networking. Networking equals relationships, equals work, equals money, equals pay, equals AKA get them coins in my Tamar voice. You know what I mean? So you done got your licensing. You done implemented a licensing strategy. You done, got all the training that you want to do based on what you want to do. You know what I mean? Now, how do you start getting to work? You start networking. You start joining these organizations. You start building relationships. The National Association of Independent Adjusters, Independent Insurance Adjusters, NIA. You know what I'm saying? The AIC, do I think is necessary? It wouldn't hurt. You know what I mean? The Associated Claims or something like that, I believe is what it is. Wouldn't hurt. I mean, it would say have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Right. So if you have the time, you have the resources, you have the money to go ahead and get it, why not? It's just gonna make you more valuable. Right? American Adjuster Association. You know what I mean? The American Association of Public Insurance Adjusters. Now, public insurance adjusting and independent adjusters, two separate things. However, we work hand in hand. You know what I mean? I know public adjusters, you know what I mean? Like Association of Claim Professionals. Any local or regional association that's related to insurance adjusting or an insurance professional, claims professional. You know what I mean? So, excuse me. Don't get hung up on the name, more so the opportunities that it provides. Me, man, look here. I am part of the women's doggone business association because it say women in the name. I ain't lying to you. You know what I mean? Just because it say women in the name don't mean that they don't allow men in. And I specifically called the president and asked him, like, hey, y'all let me in it? Yeah, we was out there. Okay, signed up. Doggone it. You know what I mean? So your boy part of the women's association is all I'm saying. You know what I mean? But building those relationships though, right? Once you get in, build relationships, network. You know what I mean? Reach out. You know what I mean? Make friends. You ain't gotta be buddy. You know what I mean? But build those relationships. You know what I mean? Please and thank you. And again, these are just some, not all, NACA was a convention. Yeah, I mean, did I get into the convention? No, I didn't even get into the conventions part, but those, yeah, PLBR, PLBR.org. And somebody drop that in the chat for me, please. PLBR.org. That's a bad boy right there. Yeah, I mean, I had no idea about it till I started working for this deployment that I'm on now. So PLBR.org. Check it out. They got trainings, conferences, all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So once you got all this going on, how you gonna keep track of it all? You know what I mean? You got these licenses over here, you got emails going over here, you got phone numbers over here, you got, you know what I mean? So now, I don't know if y'all want to jump off, but that's pretty much it. So now I'm gonna get into, what we doing with My Adjuster Bot. Powered by My Adjuster Bot. Yeah, PLBR.org, Raven. You got it.
No, that's not coming up, Cecil.
PLBR.org. Let me see.
He is in Paul.
Paul, yeah, PLBR. I might have it wrong. Let's see. PLBR.org. Let me see. Yeah, PLBR.org. There we go. Yeah, I'll drop it in the chat. Man, PLRB does. I'm dyslexic. Don't mind me. Yeah.
PLRB. Oh, okay. There you go. I'm like,
Yeah, PLRB. I'm sorry, PLRB. Yeah, I mean the
Okay.
Property and Liability Resource Bureau. Yeah, I mean tons and tons of information. I'm talking about doggone down to judgments and all of that good stuff and how it affects the industry. Right. So dropped it in the chat for you. So what do I think about the
and they
Veteran
have a
Adjustment
conference
School?
coming up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what do I think about the Veteran Adjustment School? I love Miss Betty and them over there. Yeah, I mean, they're doing some amazing things. Actually, we are looking to do something similar in that we want to create a college for adjusters where you can get all of this information, where you can graduate college and be ready with all of these certifications, with all of these resources, with all of this knowledge, and have actually been out Tamar doing ride alongs and you know what I mean, or coming to and doing sit down, sit besides, you know what I mean, all of that good stuff, right? So we want to be able to provide those resources. So I love what they're doing, especially to help those veterans over there. So shout out to the VAD school over there. You know what I mean? But
beautiful people, my
to show y'all real quick what we're doing over here though.
I wanted to come in and show you guys how easy it is to send your resume to multiple IA firms using the automation in My Adjuster Pro. So I'm actually logged in as one of the pros that signed up for the full version of My Adjuster Pro. So you'll see that I'm logged in as Joseph here. So how easy is it? Let's see. So let's count. 1, Mississippi, 2, Mississippi, 3, Mississippi, 4, Mississippi, 5, Mississippi, customer, 7, Mississippi, 8, Mississippi, 9, Mississippi. Click on companies, 11, Mississippi, 12, Mississippi, 13, Mississippi, 14, Mississippi, 15, Mississippi, 16, Mississippi, 17, Mississippi. And I've already added the tags over here to actually show the ones that I haven't actually applied to yet. So you see resume sent, and I'm only sending it to the Texas ones that I haven't sent the resume to. So bam, bam, add to flow. No, I don't want to do all 41. Let me cancel that. I'm gonna do 10 of them. You don't want to, send too many at one time. May think you spam or something. So we recommend about 10 a day. So bam, check that box, add to flow, send the resume email. Bam. And that is it. I mean, so minus my talking, if we had to just did that, without me posing and, counting all that good stuff, you're looking at about less than a minute to send your resume to 10 IA firms. Of course, you can go more, but like I said, we want to keep it low so that, you're not tagged as spam. So that's pretty much it. And so hope you guys decide to join us and see everything that's being done here in My Adjuster Pro. And we can go to the messages here just to show you guys. And we can see all the emails that we sent to those carriers. So, dear National Claims Professional Team, name is Joseph Dittman. Here's my resume. Here's a sample of a claim. Bam, done, out of there. My Adjuster Pro. Become a pro today. Go to myadjusterpro.com and sign up for your account. All righty, folks. Have a good one. You know what I mean? Already, man. You know what I'm saying? So, one of the things that keep in mind, right? Terrible experience. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say the firm, I ain't gonna say the carrier, I ain't trying to bash them, you know what I mean? But it wasn't a good experience, you know what I mean? Especially as a minority, Black and brown adjuster, it wasn't a lot of reciprocated love, I'll put it like that, you know what I mean? So everything that we're creating out of necessity, much like we've had to do for the last, I don't know how many hundreds of years, but we've had to create out of necessity. But I got tired of emailing 500 doggone firms individually. So we built a system to allow us to do that in a matter of minutes. I got tired of receiving unknown random phone calls about, but I'm not answering because I'm thinking it's bill collectors, you know what I mean? But it turns out to be deployment opportunities. So we created a system that allows us to create a phone number. And if somebody calls it, we know it's about adjusting. Because if you call this number, I know it's about some money, right? And it goes right to my cell phone, right? Emails, right to my cell phone. Phone number, right to my cell phone. Automatically send to the doggone, all done, right? I got tired of answering. Well, no, I wouldn't even say I got tired of answering a lot of questions, you know what I mean? But it was a lot of questions that I didn't know, you know what I mean? And then I found out about artificial intelligence. So we created a system that allows you to ask artificial intelligence about anything insurance related. I got tired of not being able to get the knowledge and resources and training that I needed. So we created Sunday sessions. We created a doggone Black History Month boot camp where we do a whole 28 days for the entire month of February training, you know what I mean? And for the past 2-3 years, it's been free. This is free, you know what I mean? Because we know how people use. We know y'all ain't got it like that. Doggone, I ain't got it like that. I mean, so I understand, you know what I mean? But keep in mind, it ain't gonna be free forever. So I just want y'all to know that. But we wanted to create opportunities and tools and resources and knowledge bases and everything that you guys need to be successful. And My Adjuster Pro, My Adjuster Bot, all of that, Adjuster GPT is all a part of being that for you guys. Right? So that's it, fam. That's all I got. That's all I got. Yeah. So, right on, turquoise. I actually like some good goat meat too while you're playing, though. But that's it. You know what I mean? So that's it for the Insurance Career Training Center. Today's Sunday session. We talked about not only the director of Sedwick come in, gave you his personal email address to reach out to him, but he also shared a story about what he went through and how he experienced it and how he came out on top and some of the things that he did to, make sure that, he's on top of his game. We then went into a licensing strategy that you can implement right now in order to start, preparing yourself for the hurricane season if you want to work hurricanes, or preparing yourself for hail season if you want to work hail season, or preparing yourself for both. Right? We talked about some of the things that you need to look for when you're thinking about these licenses. We talked about some of the things that pilot's looking for, that Sedgwick's looking for, that man, look at here, man, we trying to put y'all up on game. You know what I mean? Take it how you want it. Don't take it at all. We still gonna drop the jewels as much as we can.
because I truly, truly, truly believe that this is a life-changing industry that anybody can be a part of. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Question. Oh, sorry. There was a question in the chat in reference to being new and if you could keep the documentation for your claims. That's kind of a two-part question. Like if you're hired on with a particular firm and you're using their system, that vital information typically is in their system. But as an independent adjuster, you may create your own documentation that keeps you organized, like your files per se. And just knowing again, you're independent and your license depends on you being very professional with that with that information that is personal information. So just know that if you keep it for your training purposes, to dispose of it properly, because again, it's your license.
Yeah, agreed. Also, I think there's a I think you have to keep it for like 3 years, 3 to 5 years, depending on, or maybe I'm thinking life insurance. I might be thinking life insurance. You know what I mean? But yes, exactly what Nat said. You know what I mean? So, and exactly what Tamar said is what organization is key in this industry. I can't stress that enough. If you are not organized, you will fail. You will. There's no way around it. Or if you don't fail, you're going to have a hell of a time. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? So you have to be organized. Have to be. So very welcome, Miss Zenobia. I'm glad you emailed your resume to Andrew. He probably reach out to you. So he probably send you a link to join one of the onboarding sessions. So if he do, make sure you hop on that mug because he gonna drop some jewels. You know what I mean? But,
Hey,
so
Cecil,
yes, ma'am.
real quick, going back to one of the trainings. So if you guys are in the Facebook group, I've been posting trainings for stability. And this is coming directly from the company CoreLogic. So please take advantage of those trainings because they're now looking for adjusters specifically for stability claims in Texas right now. So I put the information in the group. We're trying to help you all be marketable, and Symbility is now there's a lot of firms that are now moving to that software. So someone asked about training, so that is one that I recommend that you guys have. I've been using Symbility now for 3 years, and I've not had to worry about going to anything else because I've been able to just stick with Symbility. So, I mean, that's another alternative, or that's another training software to learn, and it's not as complicated as Xactimate, but definitely learn that one. And Ashley teaches that also. And I'll put it in the group. I'll put the link to the group again in the chat. Someone asked for it.
Fantastic. Appreciate it. Yeah. Exactly. That's another tool in your belt. Yeah. Appreciate that, Tamar. Nat, appreciate you. Canberra, I always appreciate you there, bro. Which group?
I have a
Okay,
question. She was talking
please.
about the softwares. Do you all purchase the software yourself, or are you with a firm and you work with them with the software?
So it depends on which route you want to go. So if you go independent adjuster, where you're your own business owner, you're gonna pay for it yourself. But if you get on with a firm or carrier where you working for them, more likely they're gonna pay for it. Right. So I know the deployment I'm on now, they pay for Xactimate. You know what I mean? But if I want to do something else on my own, I gotta pay for it. So does that make sense? Or did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay.
Good. So if you're doing daily claims, that's an instance that you will more than likely pay for your own software.
Oh, they cat too. No.
Yeah. And the good thing about Symbility is it's not as expensive as Xactimate.
Yeah,
So now and this is another thing that we do discuss and we'll discuss later on is budget, because as a business owner, because now you are a business, right, is making sure you keep track of your invoices, all of that, right? Because now you're
Mhm.
independent. So you're a
Ooh,
business. So this is this is how you
she
keep them
said the
coins.
B word. Tamar said the B word.
Just saying, we're trying to get y'all ready.
I see Omar
Uh,
coming. Hey, Mark.
right, right. You know what I'm saying? So that's real though. You know what I mean? That B
Mhm.
word real budget. What you say? You got a time budget, you got a money budget, you got a friend budget, you got a family budget. You know what I mean? Like
For
there,
real.
you know, bro. Yeah, look at here. So
Excuse me,
yeah,
real quick.
it,
What's the fee for the adjuster GPT?
oh, it's free right now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Well, let me do that. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah.
Thank
Let me
you.
know
It's
what
in
y'all
beta
think.
phase.
Yeah, it's beta right now. It's beta right now. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, we trained it, like we literally took the AI and trained it on everything adjuster related. Like, I don't know, going there, somebody was asking me about Pilot's number. Well, I asked him, go in there, type in what's the email address for Pilot or phone number for Pilot, see what it say. You know what I mean? I think I got it in there, it should be in there. But yeah, just ask it whatever question you want. And based on that information, keep in mind, if it don't know the answer, just tell it, connect me to a mentor. And it's gonna connect you to somebody, a real life person, to help you answer that question. You know what I'm saying? Or connect me to the war room, and it's gonna connect you to a real life person to help you answer that question. Right. So which I think is super duper awesome. You know what I'm saying? All righty. And yep, civility is proclaimed. JC, Drew mentioned integrity too. This is an old school system making a comeback. Really? Yeah, but I didn't think they was making a comeback, but yeah, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Willie, budgeting is very real. You know what I mean? Yeah, budgeting is major, major. You know what I'm saying? Because now you got how much you spending on hotels and food per day. You know what I mean? Because that's eating into your money. It's your money, player. You know what I mean? So, any other questions, thoughts, ideas, or concerns? All right, Mr. Sheena, love you too, fam. Anybody? Going
Yeah,
once, going.
I have a question. I put it in the chat, so I was just trying to get an idea of how much is Symbility course in the exclamate. How do you say that word?
Exactament. Yeah.
Exactamente. And then the adjuster bot. What's the roundabout figures for those things?
So Symbility is free
Okay.
as far as the training.
YouTube University. Go to
Hello.
YouTube and
Same thing with Actimate.
yeah, same thing with I'm telling you guys, listen, if you want to do a crash course, go to YouTube and watch it. And especially if you're going to go with me to do a ride along, I'm giving you homework. So I have when you call me, please don't think I'm about to give you the jewels without no strategy. You're gonna have to put some work behind it. So I'm telling y'all now, go to YouTube, watch the videos. There's about 5 videos on Symbility and watch those. And then also if you guys are with severe RPMS, he also does a training on it. Y'all listen, you have to put your business.
Do you have a particular creator on YouTube that you like that does the Symbility course? Because I'm taking one with. Oh, they do it. Oh, okay. Well, there it is.
Symbility
Okay.
does their own training.
Nice.
Or Core Logic. Symbility Core Logic.
Core Logic. Yep.
Perfect.
And I'll forget the Zactimate lady's name. Yeah, baby, but she got a. If you got a My Just a Pro student account, if you go to the library, all those videos are in there already. You just need to watch it. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, cool beans.
So I am approving. I see some of you guys are asking to join the group. If you don't answer all of the questions, it's not going to be approved. It's just 3 simple questions. Take the time and that for us, and we'll go ahead and approve those for you.
Yeah. I am a stickler about that though, y'all. Because my thing, okay, so think about it like this though, and it's not just me though. Like these is the IA firms care like following instructions. Like I don't know, I can't even stress this enough. Following instructions. If a carrier tells you that I want this, and this, and then you come back and give me this and this, but don't give me this, chances are you going home increases. Right. So reading is fundamental. Following instructions is even more fundamental. You know what I'm saying? So yes. You know what I'm saying? Got to. I mean, even when you're filling out your resumes and applying for these rosters, it matters. It counts. I'm telling you, for real. So yes, My Adjuster Pro is a subscription, but you're getting access to. So once you sign up, we are preloading it with 300 IA firms that you can reach out to. They already in the system. You can start emailing today. So when Joseph signed up, he told me to stop sending them. So before we was done by the end of the month, he had folks calling and reaching out to him, right? I would also recommend, as you're reaching out to these IA firms, send them a copy of the work that you've done. If you ain't never been deployed, but you can do, the SimBility training, you figured out how to write a SimBility estimate, send them like, here's what I did. You know what I mean? So, what's the name of the video on YouTube? It's CoreLogic is the name of the company for SimBility. So do a search for CoreLogic / or SimBility. But CoreLogic is the owners of SimBility. Okay.
It's CoreLogic SimBility. Look up Core. Go to YouTube and look up CoreLogic SimBility.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the
Mr. Court.
on the My Adjuster Pro. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, finish your thought. Go ahead.
On the My Adjuster Pro website, do you guys have like mock policies in there and deck pages and kind of run you through the best way to read those and the info that we need to be looking out for?
I do not. So I do not. We do not. But that is something that now that you mention it, me
we
personally.
Have the training. Ashley's training has it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we do actually. Yeah, we got it. It's just not in My Adjuster Pro though.
Oh, okay. Where's it at in the training? I'm sorry.
So that is going to be on severe RPMS. So let me drop that in the chat for you. But like I said, man, Mr. Ashley changed my adjusting life. He saved
Y'all
my
should add
adjusting life.
that though to the Adjuster Pro, like some type of Excel for us, like to kind of keep track of what licenses we have. Like anything, I guess, where the one that you're paying for. You say organization is such crucial in this business. So if we're paying for like inside that script, if it's something in there to help us stay organized by like a checklist or something to help us new people really know what we should be doing and where we should be going, like anything, I guess that could help us to get there. I mean, not the free version, but the paid version. Whatever.
Yeah. Actually, that's a great idea. Actually,
it sure is.
Yeah, I mean, I understand about creating an Excel, but I would rather have my Excel inside of that because, as we all know, I had to learn this quickly that I needed this whole separate email address from my other email addresses because things was just getting bobbled up in there. So I understood that I needed to separate everything when it comes to the adjuster world. And like you said, having an adjuster phone number specifically for that, because you get all these different phone numbers and you don't answer them and you got one shot. That's it.
Yes, ma'am.
I got a call. This turquoise. The one time I got a call, I did not know this. You're supposed to say yes, even if you got to figure it out later, because you might not get another opportunity. No one told me that. The guy said, "Well, get back to me by the end of the day." Yeah, right. I did call. He never picked back up. He was like, "Oh, well, actually, they really go like immediately." So I never had another opportunity, and I've been trying to get in like for 2 years now. So that's just a gem that I got for all the new ones. If you get an opportunity, say yes, and then you have to figure it out. Then you just have to say no after the fact, but say yes. You only got one opportunity.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. I told you, I'm sure. Yeah, I got you, baby.
Did y'all vote for Joe Biden?
What? Say yes to. Somebody
so
asked
that's
me.
Be the
What?
political.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
not
I
gonna
don't
get
do all
into
Y'all
that,
vote for
but
political.
Joe
We ain't
yeah, I
Biden?
gonna
don't
get
do.
into
Yeah,
political.
you see, I'm
Yeah.
changing the subject.
Joe Biden got
What
Right.
I was saying is,
Why you make me, man?
Willie asked me what was I say yes to. So
Trump.
if you get a phone call, right, and they say, "Hey, we have a deployment offer for you," right? And let's say it's a desk job or whatever, and everything could kind of work out, but you got to work out daycare, you got to work out whatever. Just say yes. Say yes, because you might have 3 or 4 days where you can call them back and say, no, it's not going to work out for me. But you may never get another opportunity to say yes again.
Why
Yep.
the fuck did
What?
y'all kick Donald Trump?
Nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
So yeah,
yeah.
we have it's some spam, guys. Just give it. We're trying to block.
Penis, 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 penis.
Yeah, they just retarded.
Allow me to retort. I don't necessarily agree with that line of thinking. I totally understand it. And there was a time where I thought like that myself. But I've seen a lot of movies that came in and they just said yes. And then later on, that job didn't work for them. And depending on that company, they ended up getting banned from that company because they said no. Because now they've already gone ahead and they've submitted their names to work for whatever project. And inevitably, what ended up happening was they decided, or they looked at the money and what they would have to pay, or more often than not, it's during a massive event. And a lot.
No, I wasn't saying as far as deploy, like where you're leaving. My situation was a desk training, like literally in Irving. I live not too far from there. My situation was just like a small one. Like I said, I needed to make sure I had daycare or something situated. It was something small, but I could have said yes and figured that out, is what I'm saying. So if
No,
it's something like a desk adjuster, something kind of small that you can possibly figure out, don't just say no, let me call you right back. If it's something small, nothing big where you gotta go fly or go drive or you gotta do pretty damn. Mine was gonna be training for 3 weeks and be home the rest of the time. So that situation was a little bit different. You know what I mean? That's what I was saying. If it was something that you can kind of think about, do I have family support to help me get my kid back and forth for 3 weeks?
Right.
Possibly say yes. But not like it was like one of those I would say temp services like Best Claim or somebody like that. Because regardless, you could say, let me think about it, and they still could be like, oh, she ain't ready. I ain't never gonna call her back.
Nah, I ain't gonna call you back. So I was.
So,
go ahead, JC.
Just one more thought.
Yeah.
Inevitably, when I've worked in HR before, all right, in this business, and what ends up happening is once a work order comes in from a company, and they say, okay, we have a work order and we need 58 names, and we want those names submitted by this date, and we want them to start for this date. Okay. It doesn't, I don't care how much they like you. I don't care how much you call. Now that's a good thing because you want to be on the forefront of somebody's mind. Because if you call a lot of, or at least if you have an end, somebody knows who you are and they want to see
relationship.
Obviously, they will put your name on the list. But understand, once they have 58 yeses, that list is done. You could be they could have a 56 and a possible. But if 2 more people come call in while you talking about, think about it, them yeses is gonna trump your possible. That's
Facts.
That's it. That's it. All right, I'm done.
Right on, JC.
Yeah, that's what I was basically saying. Mm-hmm. That does go back to her point of saying yes and figure it out later.
So
So
both
both.
Yeah.
And being prepared. That's the other part,
Yeah,
which is
I
what
was
we're
just about to say.
providing. Yeah, because let me tell you something. When you know that your yes is going to be so strong because you've been prepared, that's different. Because you know you're going to succeed, and that's what we've been providing. I mean, y'all listen. If you have to be ready for the room before you show up to the room, right?
Hello.
And this is what we're helping you guys get. We're helping you get ready for the room. right? Because so many times we fail because one, we don't have the training, which is what we're helping do, right? Two, we don't have support, which is what we're helping to provide. Three, we don't have tools, which, you know, as we're building this out, we're trying to make it. Y'all listen, Chat GPT right now is so it's making big differences, right? And the fact that we have something that's being integrated into what we're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis, you're already ahead of the game. Right? And then we're talking about training. We're bringing in people who are telling you, listen, it's going to be hard, it's going to be tough, but this you can do it. You can make six figures. I'm telling you, you can. Right? But here's the thing: how hard are you willing to work to keep it and maintain it? Right?
Yes.
And that's where we got to get to the mindset part. But anyway, I'm like everybody else, I'm done. That's for another conversation.
And it comes back full circle.
Yeah, I can totally agree with Tamar about that, simply because I got into this industry about 2 years ago. Last year I made over six figures, and that was just because I had to network. Like, I had to really push myself out of my comfort zone to network. I had all of the information. I have the training. I have over 17 licenses. I have like 7 or 8 certifications, but I just didn't have the networking. So it's more so getting yourself out of the comfort zone and getting that information from others, so that way you can succeed in it.
Yeah. Who was that? Miss Linda? Miss Lydia?
Thank you, Lydia. Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah, I just wanted to make sure. So let me hold something. You say you say how many figures? Yeah. No, but she real life though.
But
Like real life.
Yeah, in real life. And I took that same strategy because I worked Win and Hill. And then after I worked Win and Hill, I got off and I got right back onto another deployment. I worked Hurricane Irwin. Worked Ida, and it makes it that much easier, because once you get that network, that you already know, like a recruiter here, hey, she worked out this season. Can you be on our standby for next season, or can you be on our standby for the next round of deployments? So it's all about the networking.
Absolutely. Yes,
I have
ma'am. That's
one
exactly
final question before we go. You had mentioned, I know when I see there's all these 15 or 16 states we can actually get that doesn't require a license. So does that mean we still need to apply for the license?
No. So the states that don't require a license, you don't need a license to work adjusting or doing claims in those states. However,
so we don't have. Okay.
Yeah, most of the companies that actually have contracts in those states that don't require a license want their people to have some type of license, whether that's Texas, Florida, whatever. I mean, they want you to have that.
No, so what I'm saying is, did you say like Kentucky, for example? Like, I'm licensed in Texas, but Kentucky, let's say I'm not required to have one. So let's say a storm or something happened, and pilot called me, and they need me to do a Kentucky claim. I don't actually have to go on Siricon and apply for Kentucky because it's automatic.
Right. If Kentucky wasn't a licensed state, but yes.
Right, I know. I'm just using that as an example.
Absolutely. Nope. You wouldn't have to do nothing. Go work it.
Okay. But just work them. Okay, so we should just put those down on our resume, all the ones that don't require us to have a license, just so we can have them there.
I do.
Right. So, and another thing, and so yes, Chantre, she was just using it as an example. Kentucky is a state that requires a license, but just Kentucky and Ohio, those states have very specific rules when it comes to how you do their estimates for their matching states. So while you may not be required to work in certain states may not require a license, it's still important to know the state specifics. And again, you guys are plugged into a great network where we're going to kind of help you guys navigate through those things that you may not be familiar with. So just know that you're in a great place.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
And like JC said, if you get your one license, if you have one license, you can automatically work in 15 states. Let that sink in for a little bit. If you have one license, you can automatically work in 15 states. So if you are applying to all these IA firms, number one, you only got one state on your resume, but you can automatically work in 15, but you only got one on your resume. Are you only reaching out to firms and carriers that are in your state? Well, you know it's 15 other ones that you don't need a license for, right? Yeah, I mean, you done did all this Actimate training, but you know you can work for roofing companies with your Actimate, right? You know what I mean? Like, there's money everywhere. If you got into this industry to make money, it's a million ways to make money in this industry. Yeah, I mean, now, primarily, well, for me anyway, I just like helping people. I truly absolutely love helping people. Yeah, I mean, and this is a good way to do it and make some doggone good money doing it. You know what I'm saying? I find you.
Hello.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I mean, now, mind you though, employment I'm on now, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm working 12, 13 hours a day, every single day, 7 days a week. Still managed to find some time to come on here and, you know what I mean, get some folks together to drop some jewels and knowledge and resources to us. Not because I want to, because I got to, because I absolutely love helping folks, you know what I mean? And if that's the mindset, you know what I mean, that you're coming in with, yeah, the money's good. I mean, but that ain't gonna always be your motivation. Money can only motivate you for so long. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, with that being said, anybody else?
The last thing that I wanted to kind of state was that if this is going to be your first deployment for the hurricane season, I suggest that you prepare yourself. And what I mean for that is that those long days that you're going to come up against is to get your household in order, because that's things that I was not told. I had to find that out the hard way. Like, if I didn't get my household in order once I got on deployment, it was chaos. And I lived in chaos for a while. What I mean by order, saying like, hey, if you're living with somebody, let them know I'm going to be working 12, 13, 14-hour days, 6 days, sometimes 7 days. So it's imperative that you understand I'm not going to be going out. I'm not going to socialize. I'm not going to do regular business as I used to do. I have to set on a schedule in order for my mental health and physical health at that, because I've seen a lot of IAs that go into the deployments and they don't eat right, and then they're fatigued, they're tired, they don't know what to do, they're gaining extra weight because they're not monitoring themselves and they're not taking care of themselves.
Yes. Oh my God. Preach. Come on, Miss Lydia. Doggone it. Matter of fact, if you're in the face of it, and that's something that we actually talked about. I think that was
health and wellness. We talk about health and wellness.
yes. And we put a hotel workout routine in the group. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God, man. Like, yes, we want y'all to be successful, man. I
and
promise
healthy.
you. And healthy.
Because we want
mentally,
you to be able
physically,
to enjoy your
and
coins.
you're right. Mental, physical,
Safely.
and financial health. You know, so
Surely.
yes. Well, all right, man. I think that's a good.
Oh, it is, Willie. Willie, we
Mhm.
do talk about health and wellness. I do health and wellness. If you follow me on my personal page, I do a lot of health and wellness. I don't post it in the group as much. And time management, we teach that. So that's a training. You got to keep coming back.
Yeah,
Got to keep coming back.
But out of the 40 people we got left, man, what y'all want to see next week?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, what y'all want to see
Bring it
next
to
week? 'Cause
y'all.
I got a couple ideas. Yeah, I mean, we got a couple ideas, but yeah, I mean, what y'all want to see?
Yeah, if you want to drop it in the chat, if you want to unmute, you know what I mean, however you want to do it. But
That's
let's
fine.
drop a couple suggestions off in there real quick. You know what I
Resume,
mean? While we resume
deployments.
for deployments. Those
Deployments.
Okay,
what,
all right. Deployments, resumes,
uh,
new
going
adjuster.
on, Miss
Okay,
G? Pay schedule.
new
Okay,
adjuster, pay
that would
schedule.
go with deployments. Yeah, I mean, pay schedules. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because actually, Miss Sandra, if you're in the group, there's several pay schedules in there. Resume, there's 2 resumes. Actually, what's funny is that was the plan, that was to do resumes. So now that you got your license, you got the strategy that you want to do. Oh man, I want to work Hill claims. All right. Ooh, you got your Hill licenses. Now let's get you marketable with a resume. You know what I mean? So yeah, I thought about resumes actually. You know what I mean? Haircut the
Is
option.
it?
Uh,
How about like maybe more guest speakers, like or somewhere in the group where we could talk to the people that deal with auto or submarines or just other places that we can kind of get more ideas of what else is out there for us, like what all does our all lines actually do. Like you and I both do, I know, life and health, but
Right.
I know that I asked before, could we do PNC? And I haven't had any success with it because they want me to be trained, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But somewhere, some way, there's somebody out there that actually hires all line adjusters to do PNC. So any type of networking like that, just being able to really learn all what this license means and what it actually does, so that everybody is not just put into these little boxes and waiting.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Turcos, we do discuss that because your license, like Cecil says, is almost the equivalent, of like being an attorney, right? And depending on your background, you can also utilize that. You can utilize it in a different industry. So when it comes to your license, you want to look at it in as many different sectors as possible, right? Like Cecil said earlier, everything has insurance, everything, right? So how can you utilize that even in other industries? Like doing estimates, right? I do them for roofing companies. If they call me and ask for an estimate, yeah, sure, I'm doing it in Stability. That's what you're gonna get it in. But guess what? It doesn't take me no more than 15 minutes of my time, and I charge them a fee of up to $75 or more for 15 minutes. You see what I'm
Yeah, but
saying?
see,
So it's
for sure,
about
and that's
utilizing your time and setting up templates. Like it's when we say time management, like can you tell me where I can do $75 in 15 minutes and I'll keep doing it over and over. Right?
right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's something I don't know if anybody else want to know more about that, but I do.
Mhm. Oh yeah, and we teach it. We talk about it, and that's. Are you signed up with ALA of Texas? You signed up with the boot camps?
I know I get emails from you all.
Okay.
And I know I have access to the My Adjuster Pro. Is it that?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
student
my
account.
student,
Yeah.
I just had to reset my passwords. It wasn't letting me in. But I got access to that. So I'm gonna play in there and see what I can see.
Yeah.
And
And
go
and
to our
like
YouTube channel also.
yeah.
Okay.
And also just to
It's
remind,
in there.
yeah, it's
We
in the
have some.
library.
We
It's in
have
the
a library.
library.
Okay.
Yeah. So and keep in mind though, if you come across a question, all right, so you in your student account and you think of a question like, man, I wonder to ask Adjuster GPT first. I mean, and if Adjuster GPT don't give you the answer that you're looking for, the answer that you want, just tell it, connect me to somebody. And it's gonna connect you to one of the mentors to a real life person to help you answer whatever question you got. Yeah, like you tied in,
Yeah,
fam. If you on all them, you
I did.
tied in.
Yeah, I definitely did. I asked it for good examples of a resume, and they said they want to send me to somebody.
Yeah. So it ain't trained on resumes. Actually, matter of fact, I got
Yeah, one for
Oh,
because
yeah.
I know I use my Canva, my Canva one to help me do my resume.
I love Canva.
So yeah,
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm gonna train it.
I was gonna say that's
Sometime this week,
something.
I'm gonna train it on resumes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, man, I got some stuff. Yeah, I train it on resumes this week. I'll let you know when it's out there. Yeah,
yeah, and if
so
y'all do like maybe a suggestion box, so as we are learning it, it might be just one specific spot we can drop in suggestions or things that we may find that may be able to help, especially before it becomes like a fully paid system,
yeah,
things we would like to see
absolutely.
different in it.
Yeah, and that's exactly the goal. Yeah, man, we want y'all's input. We want, what's gonna make you more successful, make it easier for you. So absolutely. If you come up with any idea, just shoot us an email. Yeah, I mean, support at myadjustedpro.com. Yeah, I mean, and we'll
Okay.
Hey,
definitely take it as a
yeah,
Okay.
and Will, to answer or to comment on what you said, listen, you're here, so you're family. So
hello.
we have
Thank
mentors.
you.
Yes, we are your mentor. We're here. So we're just a phone call away. If you have questions, concerns, you're on deployment, someone in the network is there. We're in this thing together. And that's why we created this whole network is for us. So just know that you're not
I
by
appreciate that. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. And
Yep.
thank you for letting me come in the family.
I already can vote. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the yeah. You know what I'm saying? Who made the macaroni is all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So right on. So JC said don't lose heart. The deployments is coming soon.
Yes, they are.
Mr.
And y'all gonna
Shelton.
be ready.
You're right. All right. Mr. Shelton, we glad you're here, brother. Yeah, big. Oh, Miss Chantre. Yeah. Actually, Natalie. Nat, oh, her doggone organization. Matter of fact, yeah, Nat, we're gonna need you to put together a
That's you,
organization
Nat.
class. You know what I'm saying? Because her organization level is off the chain. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Yeah, I mean, so Mr. Willie, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be like everyone else
Yeah.
here about doing good.
Can you guys do a mock uh any type of mocks of something we could see?
Yeah.
Because somebody said something in the chat. Was it Willie? Willie
Probably
said,
Mr. Willie.
or Chantrell. Yeah,
Yeah.
something. Yeah, even any type of mocks. Like, yeah, that would be awesome. Just to see how things are actually, how they look.
Okay.
Because I know like I just did my pilot auto class, and just being able to, 7 ways to learn, but just being able to look at the panels, look at this, look at this, look at that, and actually know this go here, this go here, this go here, why it go here, what does this actually mean?
Right.
I've seen some which I could share with y'all if y'all need, but I've seen where they got definitions to a lot of different stuff. A lot of this vocabulary that we new adjusters will never even know what this stuff means. So
Yeah,
depending
send
on
it.
if you're doing property or if you're doing auto.
Yeah, send that to me. We can train the bot on it. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right, cool. You
Yeah,
ain't get
shoot
that
that
from me
to me.
though.
Yeah, that'll be dope. Yeah, I mean, so resumes and verbiage on the training the bot.
Okay.
Doggone resumes and mocks, whether it's a mock phone call, a mock, I mean, estimate. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
So, hey, so this is okay. So, you guys, I'm giving y'all some homework. So, everyone that's still on this call, there's 36 people. So, Caesar, we should see our numbers increase on YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in ICTC, Insurance Career Training Center. And there's 6 videos in there. One of them is on exceptional customer service and
Yeah,
contact.
yeah,
And go in there and watch watch that video, and it's going to tell you exactly what you should do and how you're going to make an exceptional contact with that customer when you call them. Okay, so I'll put it in the chat because we have trainings in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there, and you guys go and watch those videos. If you have any other, we also have resumes in there. We have workers' comp in there. We have residential property hail. So yes, click on that YouTube channel, go in there and see. So we currently have, let's see how many people we have signed up in our group. Because I want to see these numbers increase.
It's 109 subscribers.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Thank you. There we go. I want to see that.
There you go. There go 110 from me.
Come on. There we go. Somebody is following directions.
Yeah, but also keep in mind though, so everything ain't on YouTube.
No,
but
it's
almost, almost everything though is in that library.
In the library. But that one right there, y'all can get those for free.
All right, already, Mr. Willie, right on. Mr. Willie said I'm 109. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but absolutely, absolutely. So a lot of the, like, man, we put it out there, man. We put it out there, fam. You know what I mean? And like I said, everything's been free. Everything has been about, building a community of empowered people of color. You know what I mean? And the only way we can do that is by sharing the knowledge that we have amongst each other. You know what I mean? So if I got it, you got it.
Right, there we go.
So,
we got new members coming in the room too, y'all. We got new members coming in the room, and y'all following the directions. I love it. Okay, Cicely Atkins. I hope this is not you in our group because you're gonna get declined if you are.
That's got to answer the question.
Follow directions. All right. Thank you. That's right, Chantre. That's good. Thank y'all. Listen, go in there, check those out, and that'll help answer some of the questions. If you all are in Houston, I put a post up in the group. If you're in Houston, you can follow those directions, and I will reach out to you, or you can reach out to me. We do require that you be a member of ALA of Texas to do a ride along.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to do a sit along,
holla
at me. You know what I'm saying? To where Miss Linda, I think we're going on 2 weeks right now. You know what I'm saying? And she's just been, coming, sitting with me every day, you know what I mean, and just learning the desk side. You know what I mean? So when she get out there, she gonna be powerful, boy. I'm telling you, because she's picking it up, you know what I mean? And I think she's finally getting it. You know what I mean? Like the most beautiful thing that I enjoy is when that light bulb go off and finally be like, oh man, doggone. Like, and it's the best feeling in the world. You know what I mean? So
Because it
Miss D,
wasn't that way when I talked to her the first time. I can guarantee you. She was ready to quit.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, she
She
was.
was done with
Yeah,
it. So
yeah, she was. But
Weren't we all,
Yeah.
weren't we all
yeah,
there? Yeah, we've all been there.
man, ain't that it? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, so Miss D, iPhone, you know what I mean? Give me a holler. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna put my email address in the chat as well.
Oh, Ms. D, I sent you a private message for the group. If you'll answer all those questions, I'll go ahead and approve that.
Okay. So, Bishante, come on here. Come on, we here. We here. You know what I'm saying? So Miss Tanisha, it's in the BBIA Network Facebook group. So if you are a part of that group, it's actually pinned to the top of the at the group. I think it's Emerald Empress, right? Tamar?
yes, Emerald Empress.
Emerald Empress. Yeah. So definitely check that out. Shoot me an email if you guys are in it. We might be able to do like a Zoom something I ain't gonna have all y'all at my house, but
Yeah, we'll
we work
rotate it
something.
around. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
exactly.
work it out.
Exactly.
Wait, we're doing it so you guys can help get experience on your resumes because we understand how important that is, and how much of a difference it can make in you being prepared. Because when I work with you, I'm gonna walk you through it. We're gonna sit down and go through a whole we're not gonna take any shortcuts because you need to understand it like we say, from a whole time perspective also, because your time is money. And the more consistent and a plan you have and a process in place, it's going to make it that much easier for you to get them coins.
Facts.
There you go. ALA of Texas. You got to be registered.
Yes, ma'am. So Miss Turquoise actually just left DFW, but it's actually, if you in DFW, there are a ton of us from the group there actually. Yeah, but so it's like there are several of us, because before I left, I made sure that they had a list of everybody from the Black and Brown group with a pilot number. Yeah, I mean, I gave it to the lady that does all the training, and so far we've seen a dramatic increase of people that are part of the BBIA network that have been deployed to the Dallas area for pilots. So by all means, stay tapped in. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we already got the IA firm and the insurance carrier that we got on this year. So we just waiting on the storm at this point. So make sure you're tied in, make sure you're tapped in, make sure that you're on the roster, make sure that you're part of the group. You know what I mean? So we here for y'all, doggone it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Miss Tweeter. Yeah, adjuster assistant. That's another good opportunity to get your foot in the door. Like, you are literally helping out other adjusters get all their stuff together, and you gon' guarantee learn everything you need to learn. You know what I mean? So the firm is ALA of Texas, Severe RPMS Adjusting. The carrier is Tower Hill. Tower Hill Insurance is one of the largest insurance carriers of the state of Florida. Not only are we providing them with adjusters to work claims, but we've also provided them with their own custom adjuster GPT chatbot that we trained them specifically on their training and guidelines. But we also provide all the training for not only Tower Hill, but also all of Tower Hill's IA firms. So most IA firms that work with carriers, when they train you guys, they are training you based on information for them, right? But we directly tied in with the insurance carrier themselves. You know what I mean? Like yeah. Like,
so learn Symbility.
Yes.
Because that's how you get on the roster. That's a free tip.
Hey y'all, I have a quick question. So this is my first time being on a live chat. That's why I have so many questions. But so I need to join the My Adjuster Pro group, and that's a paid subscription, right? And then it gives me access to everything else. Is that how that goes? Like, I want to make sure that I'm a part of staying on top of everything. I just got this link through the Facebook group.
Okay, awesome. So ALA of Texas is our IA firm. So that's
Gotcha.
us. Yeah. So that's ALA of Texas. So ALA of Texas sponsors the Insurance Career Training Center, which is the call that you're on now.
Gotcha. Okay.
My Adjuster Pro is the system that ALA of Texas and ICT uses in order to communicate not only with the students, but with the firms, the carriers, the adjusters, all that good stuff.
So do I need to sign up with ALA of Texas? I'm actually located in Tennessee, but I do have my Texas license.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, I mean, so I would recommend signing up for ALA of Texas to get on the roster. And then when you sign up for ALA of Texas, down at the bottom, it gives you the option of signing up for a free My Adjuster Pro student account. So that student account is going to give you access to the library, the adjuster GPT, the training calls, the ride alongs, the sit asides. Like that's going to give you access to all that by going through ALA. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as deploying with us once the storm hit, you want to make sure that you're a part of severe RPMS. You know what I mean? Because it's a partnership. So we decided that, okay, you do all of the adjuster stuff and deploying all that good stuff. We'll handle all the training and getting folks ready so that when they get trained, boom, we sending them right over to severe. You know what I mean? And then once they get out in the field, they got My Adjuster Pro, they got their own phone number, email, training, war room, connect to a live person. You see what I'm saying? Like it's all interconnected to make you more successful. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense at all. So, did that answer your question? I think I lost. ML said I work with Tower Hill for Ian. I love Tower Hill. Yep, I ain't heard not one bad thing about Tower Hill from nobody. Nobody's got anything. They fee schedules is good. They treat people right, you know what I mean? And they actually give a damn. So yeah. So the age limit, 18 to 24. So when we started ICTC, we started to help the kids. So it really started from, I got my license. My son, like we just knew he was going to the NFL. Senior year of high school, doggone, I want to say, I think it wasn't a championship game, it was a playoff game. This fool passed out. You know what I'm saying? After, I don't know, running a 90-yard pickoff, he passed out on the field. Come to find out he got a heart condition. Now he can't play football no more. You know what I'm saying? Can't even work out like he want to, none of that. So we had to figure out what the hell he was going to do. You know what I mean? So when he turned 18, we got him his insurance adjuster's license. He started making a whole bunch of money. I think he made $100,000 his first year out of high school. All his friends, I want to do that. And then that turned in that mom and them want to learn how to do it. And then, you know what I mean? And it just grew from there. So 18 to 24 is who our primary focus on is the youth, which is why it's youth and community program, because after the youth got involved and everybody was making all this money, now the grown-ups want to make it too. You know what I mean? So we extended it to youth and community. So our youngest is 17, our oldest is 68. How old is Yeah, she's about 68, 69. But yeah, like there's ain't no age limit. You know what I'm saying? So Miss Linda, actually, I'll put it back in the chat for you. For the web address for ALA. And yeah, I think it should absolutely be a backup for all kids. You know what I mean? Hell, I think it should be a front up. You know what I mean? Where can you come out of high school making $100,000 a year with no college degree? Yeah, I mean, at all.
And then if you learn how to fly drones, that's another way to make even more money.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. On the side,
Exactly.
We've actually had someone come on to do training for drones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we did, and that's in the library as well.
They definitely did.
You know what I'm saying?
That's just amazing that these young kids coming out of high school can do that, and then you got other ones that cannot seem to get on at all. So I'll be wondering, like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah. Well, you in the right spot. You know what I'm saying? So you just learned about a licensing strategy. You know what I mean? So how many licenses you got and which ones do you have? You know what I mean? Is it more hurricane focused or hail focused? Right now it's hail season. Do you have hail licensing? You know what I mean? So a lot of folks get into it and immediately go for the coastal. I mean, they want to work hurricanes. However, if it's March, April, ain't no hurricanes happening right now. So you automatically got to wait 6 months, 8 months. I just off the jump because the only licenses that you have is hurricane states. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you get what I'm saying?
I just didn't want to get caught up. And like you said, like I have the other license too. So I have to pay for so many other licenses on my other side. And I didn't know like I had to. It was required for me to at least have 21. So I just was trying not to go in debt over the licenses, like owing so many at one time.
Exactly.
Well, I'll
Exactly.
say from my experience when I started, well, I did deployments with just one license, and that was Texas. But then when I went and got the field experience, I only had 3 licenses, and that was Texas, Kentucky, and Arkansas. And after about third check, I got a couple more licenses. But yes, it's important to have as many licenses to be marketable, but don't let that be your stumbling block, because it's
Right.
possible a couple.
Yeah. Okay. Because I did Michigan, but the person who helped me do it told me to put the wrong information, and so it was wrong. But I did like about 5 or 6 of them.
That's good.
Georgia being one of them. Kentucky, Florida, something, I don't know, Louisiana. I don't know how I got it, but then when it was time for me to renew it, it was asking me to something about a state license and all this stuff. And I was like, I was confused. I didn't know what to do with it. So I guess it died. I guess it's gone. I had to reapply for it, but I got it easy because I was already licensed for it on the life and health side. So I didn't have to go through a whole lot. But the girl, I was in this other group, and that's something, everybody know, like being in all these groups don't help either, because you don't get the same information across the board. Like everybody, they smile on your face and not actually happy for you. So I was getting advice, but then once I had the question, I was left on red. So I ended up losing, the license, because I didn't know how to really reapply for it. And she was like, by the time she responded to me, it was already too late. I lost it. And she's like, oh, you must just know what you was doing. You don't have to take a test or something every year or something. And I was just like, whatever. But
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's
So
something that we
go ahead.
Making sure that we kind of communicate to and share that information with each specific state license, like how long it is that you have it for, and what are the requirements for each state. For example, like with Florida, you have to do like a background check and like self-appoint. So we can share that information, kind of help as a guide for those licenses for those.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. Even the renewal process, because I want to get it back again, but I just don't understand the renewal process, and I don't want to get caught up on something that I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, so go to Adjuster GPT and ask, how do you contact the Department of Insurance for Michigan? You get the phone number and call them. Like when I started, like my license was about to, so I applied for a license because of my background. It requires some additional information, so make sure that my court stuff was taken care of and all that good stuff. But 11:59 that day, I got everything in and they gave me my license, but I had been calling and communicating with the Department of Insurance. You know what I mean? Like Miss Faye. You know what I mean? Like she literally walked me through everything that I needed to have. And then once I got it to her, she was the one that approved it. You know what I mean? But we had built a relationship because I'm calling like, okay, Miss Faye, I got this. What else I need? Well, you're gonna need to do this. Well, where I get that from? Well, you can probably get it from they're like they are very helpful. Well, Texas Miss Faye Department of Insurance was very helpful. I would expect the same thing from other insurance departments as well. So yeah, reach out to the Department of Insurance for that state.
Okay.
And yeah, they're gonna tell you exactly what you need to do to renew. You might just need to pay a fee and you back in the game. You know what I mean? So
okay. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even, like I said, it just, just paying for all these licenses, and they come up quick.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, believe you me. Ooh, doggone. I think I paid like 1,700 last time that thing came in, man.
Yes, I'm like, if you don't start working within a certain amount of time, you're gonna have to pay all that all over again.
Yeah, well, you got 2 years. You got
I
2 years.
understand that. I just need a letter of recommendation for the Texas Department of Insurance for them to issue me my license.
Okay, what they talking about? Like, cause of your background type thing, or what?
Yep, literally.
Okay,
background.
All right. So when they
That's what I was trying to talk to you about, Mr. Cecil.
Okay.
When I had reached out to you on Facebook, but I had other stuff that was going on to where I wasn't able to give you a call. So I was gonna wait till after the training.
Okay, yeah, call me tomorrow. So we'll
Okay.
talk about it. I mean, I ain't gonna promise you nothing, but we talk about it. Yeah, I mean, for sure, for sure.
Hey, look at here. Understanding is the best, and that's what I'm looking for, some understanding.
Hello, come on now. Nah, I got you, fam.
Yeah, I mean, I look. Hey, I'm understanding too a lot. All I need somebody to do is explain so I can make sure I'm going in the right direction.
And there we go. Well, you in the right spot.
Yeah,
you in the right spot. Yeah, call me tomorrow. I believe I sent you my number, right?
Yes, sir. I got it.
Okay, yeah, call me tomorrow. I'm here. I'll be up by about. I usually do admin time between 7 and 9. So between 7 and 9 is usually when I ain't doing nothing but getting my day ready. You know what I mean? So if you want to call between that time, that'll be perfect. But other than that, yeah, just reach out. Yeah, I mean, I'll make time for you.
All right, sound like a plan to me.
I got one more question that with the password. It doesn't tell me what type of password you guys was looking for. I didn't try so many different sequences on the My Adjuster Pro and nothing's working.
All right, hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute.
I didn't put a capital or number.
Yeah, so it's got to be at least 8 characters. Got to have at least 1 capital letter and 1 special character. But what's your last name?
Atkins, Atkins.
Miss Turquoise.
Yes.
Let's see here. Let's see. Got it. Bam. Let me get back there. Okay. Bam, gotcha. There you go, right there. Just enter your password. You can reset it whenever you feel like it. But I just set it to a generic password for you.
Thank
To
you
get
so
you
much.
logged in. Oh, no problem. No problem at all. And once you get logged in, if you click on your My Account, you can change your password there. If you don't want to keep that one. So sweet.
Perfect. All right, well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Good night, everybody. It's nice meeting with everybody.
No problem at all. Kinfolk, definitely appreciate you all being here. Appreciate you all for tapping in and for being a part of this journey and allowing us to pour into you. You know what I mean? So doggone it, I love you. There ain't nothing you can do about it. And if you could do something about it, I would love you anyway, doggone it. So y'all get some rest, and we'll see y'all next Sunday. We'll either be talking about rosters and resumes or organization. And so is what I gather from the suggestions from the chat. Did y'all get the same thing? Rosters and organization? Is that what y'all
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cool. All right, so it'll be one of those. So all right, now y'all have enjoyed the rest of your evening. We see y'all next Sunday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for ICTC, the Insurance Career Training Center, Sunday sessions every Sunday at 7 p.m. for the month of August. And we have a good night. God bless you. Good night.
God bless you. Good night. Good night.
All right, now, yeah.
For the love of money.